This month, Streaming Things is brought to you by Chester Copperpot, Stanton Valentino, Wendy O'Laughlin, Jason Hawkins, Matthew Amerson, Trey Barrera, Conrad, Luke and Sarah, David Malfara, Kaylee Sampson, Rabid Dog and a Barbie Car, Jose Ruben Cruz Rodriguez, Thomas Alexander, Emmy, Joe Velez, Abby Vollmer, Valerie, Aaron Layton, John Collins, Sun Loving Mortal, Andrew Gray, Jen Robinson, Kate, Chloe Richardson, Kalisha Reeves, Kiki Newton, Kevin Strother, Jeanette Murphy, Casey McCain, and Enza.
Welcome back. My name is Chris.
My name's Madison.
And I'm Steve.
And this is Streaming Things, continuing our coverage of Yellowjackets, this time episode 4, Old Wounds.
A terrible wound. Just an absolutely terrible festering wound.
So we're 4 episodes in now. Maybe halfway? We don't know.
We don't know, to be honest.
I think there's 9. I'm putting if I was a betting man, if I was a Doc Holliday type, I would bet on 9.
I don't know why I just always assumed there'd be 10 because there were 10 for season 1.
10's a nice round number.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you go online, there's a lot of inconsistent reporting. Some people say there's 12 episodes. Some people say there's 8.
Who's in charge of this stuff?
Yeah, Showtime is fucking up.
Do I need to call them again?
I'm thinking Mari.
I will.
Mari? It's definitely Mari.
Yeah.
It's a total Mari move to not actually have the episode count up.
Thank you all for listening, as always. And we got some new iTunes reviews. Some of them negative. So if you're a fan of the show and you haven't reviewed the show yet, hop on there and give us a positive review if you're feeling that way. Don't lie. I'm not asking you to lie. That'd be dishonest.
Don't be a liar.
I'm not trying to rig the game here.
Just a little bit.
Just, makes me feel better when I scroll the feed. I brought joy to someone. Thank you. Or maybe I didn't. Maybe Madison did. But still.
Madison's always bringing joy.
Something of which I am a part
best.
Brought joy. She does. You do a great job. I'm so grateful to have you here.
Thank you.
A lot of people reach out
it.
to say, we love Madison. And I'm like, we loved her first. And I email them and say, lose my number.
I appreciate it.
Which is kind of a weird response. Yeah.
A little bit. Just a little bit.
That's just what I do.
Yeah. Keep it real.
I wanted to start things off. I was reading through a lot of our emails that we've gotten over the past couple of weeks, just rereading them. There's a couple things I wanted to touch on and see what you guys thought about, because it's about typically episode 2, but the show thus far before we dive into the meat of episode 4. One of them comes in from Taylor M. Hey guys, love the show. Thank you for letting me live in some of my favorite stories a little bit longer. I probably would have never started Yellowjackets if it weren't for y'all, but season 1 had me obsessed and season 2 has yet to disappoint. Hear that, Showtime? They wouldn't even listen to the show if it wasn't for us.
Yeah, send us money.
But after listening to your coverage of episode 2, I think I'm viewing some of the elements of the show a little differently than you guys, so I thought I'd write in to share and see what you think. And I'll read this one and another one because they're kind of saying the same thing. So at least Taylor, you won't feel like there's someone out there that thinks the same way you do it at the very least. First, what is the viewer supposed to believe about the universe of the show at this point? Specifically, are we supposed to take recent events as absolute confirmation that there's a supernatural force at work here? Chris seems to think yes, but I'm not so sure. Maybe this is a result of my own worldview. I'm a bit of a Thaisa, but I still think everything that's happened in the show so far can be explained without invoking the supernatural. The snow falling on Jackie's pyre makes sense. As the hot smoke rose, the snow on the limbs of the trees above would start to melt, reducing the friction that held it in place and allowing it to slide off the limbs. That's one of the many reasons you don't start a big-ass fire right under a tree. Shauna and Jeff take notes. Another example, Travis's death as portrayed in Lottie's flashback. It appears as though the crane lifts Travis higher of its own accord, but Lottie was full-on hallucinating Laura Lee at this time. She's not exactly a reliable narrator. If she was fully dissociated from reality, couldn't she have been the one controlling the crane herself? Similarly to Shauna hallucinating Jackie cutting her own flesh. Maybe there was never anything wrong with the crane at all. I'm choosing to view the show from the perspective that the supernatural element is still ambiguous. I think that's a more compelling story because we can speculate about the psychological mechanisms at work that led to the delusions, hallucinations, and antisocial behaviors we're starting to see from these characters rather than just chalking it up to ghosts be ghostin'. And there's a lot more in that email there, but I'll stop there. And we have another email from Kim G, basically saying the same thing. I wanted to bring up something that stuck out to me from episode 2. You had a lot of other folks, and she said, I listened to roughly 5,000 Yellow Jackets discussion groups, posited that the floof of the snow that fell from the trees above Jackie's funeral pyre was caused by magical means. I don't think it was. If you've ever had a bonfire or campfire in a snowy area, you know that it's a common occurrence. The rising heat from the flames will slowly melt any snow in the branches directly above your fire. This will eventually loosen the snow enough to fall, extinguishing your fire, or at least dampening it enough to produce glowing 225-degree embers, ideal for slow roasting a delicious wood-smoked Jackie brisket. I just had brisket, so that makes me even hungrier. That was great. So those 2 emails, I mean, again, a lot more was said, but I wanted to throw that out to you guys. What do you think about so far? Just those thoughts. Madison?
It's interesting, the no paranormal side, but I do see where they're coming from. It's almost like the spirituality aspect of it is almost a way that they can rationalize these things happening to them, like out in the forest and stuff. I mean, I can see it, but I think that they've pushed so hard for it at this point that it's hard to not see it like that. Mm-hmm. But I think it's really interesting how.
So you are like fully on board that it's supernatural.
I don't want to say fully, because I think that they make really good points. But to me, the writing doesn't seem like it's going in that direction. But
I got you.
Again, I don't know.
What about you, Steve?
I think overall they are still leaning more towards in the supernatural point of view. I do appreciate the sort of things they've introduced, especially in this episode where it's like, oh, is this really just a natural occurring thing? Mm-hmm. But I think the show is supposed to be toying with you a lot, like along with the characters that are experiencing this. It's like you're supposed to be questioning, is this real life? Am I hallucinating? Did that really happen? Did I really see that thing? Or am I just losing it? I feel like they really want you to be in that headspace with them. But there's also definitely like they're really leaning into some supernaturally stuff, like especially with like Taissa and seeing the no-eyed guy, and some of the animal stuff that's happening is very supernatural, like the birds just flying into the cabin and stuff. Like that's all supernatural. And if they would have to jump through hoops to justify stuff like that in a way that makes sense if this is supposed to be grounded in a, everything is real. And there is no supernatural stuff happening at all. They would have to jump through a lot of hoops.
I feel like especially because at the end of season 1, I feel like it was very neutral at that point with whether they were going to go the supernatural or not. But the fact that they have been leaning more towards that in season 2 makes me think that this is where they're committing. This is where they're going.
I agree. I think I agree 100% with you guys, but I would go a step maybe further and just say I think it has been confirmed, kind of in the sense that Steve said, to be a supernatural element, to disagree with the listeners a little bit. And in that sense, the reason I say that is because, in my opinion, if it wasn't, I think that would make the writing bad, because that would make a lot of the signals that they've thrown us to be red herrings, and that's not fair. For instance, yes, the snow could have melted from the fire. I think that's a great explanation, 100%. Yeah. What makes it supernatural is that the showrunners decided to show us that POV camera footage of the Sam Raimi ghost.
And they added like a supernatural
noise
to it.
Flying through the air before the snow fell. And like, you don't do that. You're visually queuing up that there is an intelligence, whether malevolent or not is up for debate, but an intelligence like enacting that, right? Mm-hmm. And so if you have it not be the case, then you're just visually lying to us. And if I wasn't able to guess because you lied to me, well, that's on you. That's a shitty thing to do,
Yeah.
So that's my take on that. I think that there is an explanation for everything that we've seen, but not in the way the show shows it to us. Like Steve with the birds, that's a great answer. I don't think there is an explanation for that. What about Laura Lee's plane just randomly catching fire in the passenger seat and then combusting? Like, that's not something planes do.
That Lottie's foretold.
Yes, exactly. And Lottie has known everything in advance. And if it was all just mental illness, that would be highly unlikely for so many of our main characters to be suffering from severe mental illnesses that precede the events of the show. And therefore, you know what I mean? Like that's even worse. So that's my take on all of that. But I want to make sure we were on the same page there, because quite a few people wrote in like, you guys are really hanging on the fact that there's a ghost there. And I don't think that's been confirmed yet. And I think it has, just from the visual language of the show, if nothing else.
Yeah. Well, also too, we saw this figure right before Jackie died. You know, like
you're here.
Still hanging on to that, visual of Jackie seeing somebody before she passed away.
Yes. And I think that it's not that it's not interesting. I'm with you, Taylor. I think it is interesting. But if there is no supernatural element, that makes all of our characters way worse people. Right? Like if they were compelled by like kind of in a poltergeist kind of way, like, or an exorcist kind of way, like, oh, does it compel me?
It was edging them on
to do the cannibalism, to do the num on the Jackie.
Cannibalism.
Yeah, do it.
Come on, guys, it's really cool. All the college kids are doing it.
Oh, we do want to go to college soon.
Yeah.
Changing tracks here, Taylor goes on to say in her email. Who is the Antler Queen? And again, this is stuff that we haven't talked about a lot that I thought maybe a lot of people would be interested in. You guys seem pretty convinced that it's Lottie. That's definitely a reasonable assumption, but I'm not taking it for granted. I think this last episode contains some indications that the Antler Queen may in fact be Shauna. First, there's the very intentionally framed scene with Shauna standing between Lottie and Ty. I agree with Rachel and Steve's read. Maybe Madison and Steve? Maybe she's watching Friends at the time.
I can be Rachel.
Is Rachel.
I agree with Madison and Steve's read that this foreshadows that whichever one Shauna decided to back will be the determining factor in whose mindset prevails. This fits with her being in a position of leadership and influence. And then there's the cannibalism scene. You guys said that Lottie was the one to say she wants us to. And you weren't quite sure who took the first bite, but it was actually Shauna who did both. We see all of the others dressed in their Grecian banquet finery, waiting for Shauna to take a bite before they start eating. This could be viewed as a sign of respect that is generally afforded to royalty, such as a queen of antlers, perhaps. It also parallels one of the scenes toward the end of the plot. On the pilot episode, rather, sorry. The Antler Queen and her fur-clad cult members are lined up in front of their latest kill, and the queen nods her head before the others start digging in. I don't know. I could totally see it being Lottie for obvious reasons, just trying to keep things interesting, winky face. Thanks for reading. Buzz, 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 motherfuckers.
Buzz, buzz, buzz.
I don't know. I think I have just kind of spoken like it's confirmed that Lottie's the Antler Queen in recent episodes, and I want to see if you guys, what you thought about that, because that might be my misstep.
To me, it's the imagery, right? I mean, the camera has pinned Lottie in front of antlers several times.
Mm-hmm. Multiple. Myriad.
Yes.
There's been a dearth of it.
Yeah. And so I think I'm 90% committed that Lottie is the Antler Queen. And I think the other 10% of me is like, it's just not confirmed via the show. So I don't want to completely commit to it. But yeah, I can see where this person is coming from, where it could be Shauna, or people have speculated that it's actually Ty. But, it's one of the three of them.
I do think Lottie as the Antler Queen could be a red herring. Like it's been telegraphed so much that that's why it's going to be a twist that it's Crystal. That'd be so disappointing.
Oh my God, no, I would love it. Oh my God, if it's Crystal, this show is amazing.
Or there's this idea that it could be multiple people.
It's Javi.
Yas Queen. Yas Queen. Oh my God.
I'm sorry. Everyone's like, oh my God, that scene in the beginning was so scary because they ate their friend. But what we didn't see was immediately after they ate their friend, they just burst out into show tunes. And Chris is like, let's sing, girls. And a 1, 2, 3, go.
5, 6, 7, 8. That's what
There's no business like show business. There's no business I know.
Oh, goodness.
Is that all you got?
Everything I know about appealing.
So what do you think about Lottie Antler Queen or no?
I agree with Madison. We're like, they're definitely, the showrunners are definitely framing it to be, they're visually telling us, look at Lottie. She's got antlers. Look at that. It's probably her.
Look at that.
Look at that. She got them antlers. But they very well could. That could be a twist. That could be a swerve somehow.
Sure.
And we're missing these more subtle clues. Like Taylor, is that who wrote this in?
Yeah, I believe so.
Like Taylor is picking up these more subtle clues with Shauna, where it could be her, or maybe even these clues about Thaisa and her connected to the supernatural elements with a man with no eyes. It's definitely one of the three of them. The showrunners are trying to get us to look at Lottie for it. And again, whether that's a red herring or not, like you said, Chris, I think it's possible that it could be a red herring.
I do think Taylor's onto something in the sense of, especially season 2, like one of the biggest plot points is that they're framing this dichotomy of perspectives within the crew in the wilderness. Like one supports Thaisa's rationalism and one supports Lottie's kind of theocracy. Yeah. And Shauna is kind of just the only one I can think of that's in between the two, like just kind of uncommitted, right?
Yeah.
And so and then they did symbolize that as adults with the three of them. So I love that. And one last thing before we get into episode 4, I know we're running late on time, but I think this is important. This email comes in from Mayra B. I love you guys. You are one, if not the only podcast that I can listen to on my 1-hour commute without getting sleepy. Thank you. Thank you for listening. That's so kind.
Yeah,
Don't get sleepy.
Now, that being said, the whole episode, I was waiting for the speculations about the fucking jacket. That was all caps. The second I saw, and this blew my mind when I read it. I cannot believe I did not catch this.
Is this in reference to which episode?
This is probably episode 2, maybe
Okay.
Yeah, I think 2, where they tried to, she's talking about Jackie's jacket.
Oh, okay.
The second I saw the whole shenanigans about jacket on, jacket off.
You're so
Sorry.
proud of yourself. You're so goddamn proud
all I
of
did was
yourself.
read it. I was thinking about that at some point it had to come off because Shauna had it in 2021, but it did. She's right, but it didn't. They burnt the jacket. Did the spirits take it? Do they find it later? Did I miss something? LOL. I would love to hear some conspiracy theories. Love you guys. Now this is either a flub or Shauna lied to her daughter when she said, hey, that's actually Jackie's jacket. Because I think it was the Halloween party where she said, you're wearing Jackie's jacket.
But I think Callie is wearing her uniform, not
Yeah, Callie's
the
wearing the
jacket.
uniform, not the jacket and the Halloween thing.
not the
there was no jacket?
not the.
Then what is she
Letterman.
talking about? Maybe that's not what Mayra's referring to.
I don't. Maybe is her jacket in Jackie's room when Shauna was at her parents' house?
Jackie's jacket.
Jackie's jacket.
It's hard to say. Dang, that kind of took the wind out of my sails because I totally thought it was that scene, but you're right, it's a uniform. Well, anyway.
Jackie's
Well, I'm
jacket.
trying to look up. There's a Jackie's jacket thread on
Jackie'sJacket.com?
Reddit, but Reddit's being a hoe bag and not let me log in so I can read it because it's marked as not safe for work.
Ooh, interesting. Are you sure you're on the right Jackie's jacket? Are you on the right jacket thread, Steve?
It's yellow jackets, but with a 0.
You're on
and
the
like
right
some
snacky
X-
jacket.
You're spelling jacket with an E, right?
Oh.
Goodness.
Okay. I'll keep looking for it. We can move on, but I'll keep looking to see what this
Well,
is.
I tried to have a good discussion about that, but I made a dumb move. I may not be a smart man, but
Why
I
am I picturing just a ghost like wearing Jackie's jacket? It's just like
Slay.
it's just hovering around in the forest.
It gets cold out there.
Thaisa sees just like a hovering Yellow Jackets Letterman
The
jacket.
man with no eyes, like, does this look good? I can't see it. Is this my color? Let's dive into old wounds. But first, let me just if you want to send one of those emails that we may read on the show and start a conversation, you can email the show at streamingthingspod@gmail.com. That's streamingthingspod@gmail.com. You can also follow the show on Twitter at streamthingpod and on Instagram at streamingthingspodofficial. On the Insta there with daily posts and stories, keeping you apprised of our schedule and little cute things like that, clips from the show. Sometimes that's a new thing we're doing. So check that out and
Hope
laugh.
you guys have been enjoying those reels. They've been fun to make.
Yeah.
Yep. Steve, hard at
Reels.
work over there, just a chipping away.
Chip
They
it
look
away.
so good.
You can also support the show,
welcome.
become a patron, one of the people without whom we could not be doing this show right now at patreon.com/streamingthings and get access to a whole bunch of bonus episodes and maybe even the Discord where you can message us directly and join in all kinds of cool stuff like Steve's fireside chats.
Yeah, man.
Who knows? Madison lurks around there sometimes. She may heart your post. She might thumb it down. She's done that to me a bunch.
Always thumbing them down.
She didn't
for
read
you.
them. That's
It's
fair.
just like, oh, Chris is posting? Thumbs down.
Downvote. She's the real.
Okay, so I did get that Reddit thread to upload, and it was just basically what we just said. Someone was like, "Didn't she have Jackie's jacket?" And then a bunch of people were like, "No, she was wearing the uniform at the party."
Oh, so that's what that is,
Yeah.
maybe. Okay. Thank you guys. We just in real time.
Now,
Yeah.
if they're referring to a different scene with Jackie's jacket and not that one, let us know.
Yeah.
If you're watching on the YouTube, you might say, hey, Chris is looking extra sexy today. The reason is I got some Streaming Things merch from the West River Printing Company. Link is in the show notes to the YouTube video that you're watching. It's also in our link tree, our bio. It's everywhere you can find it, I think. If not, just hit me up.
And not just these shirts, but Yellow Jacket specific shirts, including a yellow jacket. Is it Jackie's jacket? No, because that one got burnt up.
That's true. It's a rain jacket.
Yeah, it is.
It's really nice.
It looks
It
fun.
repels all water.
And ghosts.
That's true. That may or may not exist.
Right.
This way we haven't tested.
There's no way to test that, but we're going to say it anyway.
Yeah.
Well, let's dive right in. Yellow Jackets episode 4, Old Wounds. It starts off in 1996. Van is trying to talk to Thaisa. They're outside again and looks like she's been a wandering. She found another rune symbol carved into the tree. We've been calling it, just to save time intelligently, something really clever like Circle Triangle Man, I think, right?
Bumblebee tuna.
Bumblebee tuna.
Yeah. Because it kind of looks like a bumblebee.
Oh, I forgot.
Yes.
Somebody else wrote in a really mean, I don't know if it was a mean thing, but I took it like, damn, we're dumb. I think it was a bad review, one of those bad iTunes reviews, but somebody was like, and I'm so sorry if you're listening and you're like, it wasn't mean. I'm just mixing it with mean stuff in my head. But somebody said, why is it called honeycombs? That's a dumb segment name because Yellow Jackets aren't bees. Mm-hmm. And like, I was like, holy shit, you're right. Oh. That was the whole thing.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of bees, did your dad ever tell you about the birds and the Yellow Jackets, Steve?
Yeah. Actually, no, he didn't. He was in prison.
I laughed harder. He tried to make it awkward, but it was funnier. But anyway, so Van's
What
trying
is
to
Steve's backstory? I'll only get about little nuggets at a time.
jot those down, like little clues, breadcrumbs. Van wants to talk to Lottie. They found another symbol. And it looks like Van is mapping the symbol. Like she's like, hey, I wonder what this does. Let me keep track of all these trees. Maybe
Those were a lot of symbols.
they've been walking a lot.
They've been doing a lot
Is
of
Van
night
getting
walking.
any sleep?
Probably not.
Just honestly, it kind of makes me mad. Like I like Thaisa's character generally a lot, but I don't like how she's been treating Van. I've been waiting for Van to kind of blow up more than she does. Like she does a little bit, right? Like she's like, hey, you ate her fucking face. You know, she pulls that sometimes. But
So I was watching an interview with Liv Hewson, who plays Van, and they did a really great explanation as to why Van is kind of taking in Thaisa's bullshit, or however you like, you know, because Ty is being mean to her.
it's bullshit. Yeah.
But essentially, Liv went into this conversation of like their mom is an alcoholic. Like Van's character is Van's mom is a alcoholic. And so dealing with this idea of sporadic moods, like, you know, her mom probably waking up in places that she didn't remember, like just, you know, the idea of like Van having to constantly deal with an alcoholic, I think is helping her deal with Thaisa.
Sure.
Which
Yeah,
I
makes
thought
sense.
was just very interesting insight into that character and how that actor is looking at playing Van's character with
That is
Ty.
interesting.
Yeah, that's really good insight because if you ever read like Codependent No More, there's a lot of stories of people who do deal with, alcoholic partners, and their codependency has them acting very similarly. So I think that's a good point. Yeah. I kind of forgot that Van's mom was an alcoholic
too.
because we only saw her the first episode forever ago, and it's easy to forget.
Yeah, and I mean, originally Van, I don't think was supposed to make it to season 2, and I think Liv Hewson was. They just really liked their version of Van on the show, so they were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna
She survives
keep
the
him
wolf
on."
attack.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So-
I mean, just watching some of those scenes, it makes me really frustrated. And like, that's a really good explanation for why the character would put up with it, but it doesn't make me less angry.
sure,
Because
yeah.
it's like, she's like, can we just talk to, I think we need to talk to Lottie. And no, I got this. And I'm like, no, tell her, like, lady, I'm getting up every fucking night, tying myself to you, chasing you around. Like, this is a lot on me, just to be fair.
Yeah.
You're literally dragging me down.
Like, it's really cold out here. We're looking at trees. I don't know
feel
what
like
the
I'm
fuck that
tied
is.
to an anchor.
It's a really lame rendition of Glenn Close, and I don't like it. I don't
Also,
like looking at it every time.
how
From
have
Hillbilly
they
Elegy?
just now been noticing these fucking symbols?
I know it's been driving you nuts
Like,
for months.
The fact that Van was able to find all of these symbols and note them down, and they've been in the woods for how long?
Well, it's because she's got the Thaisa Sleepy Tea compass. She doesn't know where they're at.
Right,
Times
It's
but,
over here.
but they had to have been exploring and like walking around I'm getting too technical
What if she
with
could
it.
find other things? That'd be cool. I don't know what.
What would, yeah.
I don't
She's
know.
like, what is she, like a truffle pig or something?
Something. Like, I used to smoke weed over here when I was a kid. Something. You don't know what Sleepy Tea's been up to.
Sleepy Time's High.
Living a whole life. Living a whole life. But back in 2021.
Wait, what would Van do if Ty climbed up a tree?
Just wait. She's just a steadfast, codependent woman.
Do you think like Sleepy Time Tea is like trying to climb like, but she's like tied and Van's like, I ain't climbing. So it's just like,
She's just like yanking on her shirt.
let me get up there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably.
because Sleepy Tea was really chill. Yes, you can come with me.
Yeah, versus before where Ty was literally eating dirt and climbing into trees.
Yeah.
I still want to know what the dirt.
She
thing
grew
was
out of that.
about. Yeah, she grew out
It
of
was
it.
the truffle pig phase.
Yeah,
She
the
ate all the
truffle-
truffles now.
Yeah, all the truffles are gone. Now we're looking for runes.
No, I'm just saying. Look at Yeah. It's
I'm not waking up with dry mouth. That's great.
Everyone's been through that phase in their life.
I have.
Right?
Yeah.
But back in 2021, we cut straight to current Thaisa snapping in and out of her like mirror self, whatever that is, having memories of her. What do you call her? She hired Jessica, of her lackey that was keeping track of the other ladies.
I think she breaks into Jessica's office and steals Jessica's information on Van so she can find out where Van lives so she can go to Van.
That's what that was.
Ooh, which
I didn't
I
get
think
that at
last
all.
episode,
Genius.
Ty was watching her mirror self do the little symbol thing on her face.
Mhm.
I saw somebody comment say that was like Van's scars, like trying to show like scars.
Yeah, I saw. Was that a YouTube or something?
I think on YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great comment. I think that's
Yeah.
correct when she said go to her right after that.
Yeah.
Because what did I say it was? I thought it was the triangle symbol with an eyeball in the middle, like the spirit's watching you.
I just thought she was
The
mimicking her rapping.
Illuminati.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. I was tinfoil hat in it. So yeah, good call out on that. And some of the stuff I might be thinking of might just be YouTube comments. That's true. But yeah, so she does all of that. She wakes up and the car's on E. That's the worst. So she starts walking, starts a foot in it, and then we get the title card. Then
This title card, different, because this is the Alanis Morissette version that plays and not the
Rockin'.
normal one. Yeah.
yeah,
I love Alanis Morissette.
Jagged Little Pill was a seminal moment in my life.
So
Yeah.
good.
And you ought to know, Steve.
You want to know.
You.
All I really
You.
want is to be forgiven.
It's true.
Isn't it ironic?
I think it is.
Don't you think?
I got my hand in my pocket.
What'd you think of Alanis's version?
I love it so much.
I
Yeah.
love it. So good.
I want multiple every episode should be different. Like we get Lana Del Rey next week,
Ooh.
maybe a Billie Eilish,
Ooh.
a Paramore if you want to really tickle
rockers.
me. No,
Yeah.
just let me do this.
Get
Steve.
some Lush in there.
No.
Like a Lush cover of
I
that.
How
wanna
about
get-
Garbage?
Garbage.
I was
yeah.
thinking
Shirley
Hole,
Manson?
even though
Hole?
we don't stand Courtney Love.
We don't.
do
Maybe, yeah.
I'm okay. I'm open.
Let's do it.
Smashing
I'll call-
Pumpkins.
I'll
Yeah.
call Showtime.
Yeah, please text
will.
them and ask them how many episodes, please.
Yeah.
Well,
We cut to Shauna.
I got a show schedule to make Showtime. Come on.
I know,
but
shit.
think of us. Think of the
me.
children.
Come on.
Shauna had told Jeff that a tow company found the minivan. She didn't tell him the truth about
Tows?
how. Huh?
Toes?
Yeah, tow. T-O-W. Not a T-O-E company. That'd be Tarantino, huh? And he seems to believe her, kinda. And he's just like, whatever, I'm not going to deal with it, right? And then Callie walks in and says she's going to Alana's. But it's important to know, because I took a note of it, that Shauna bought Jeff some odor-resistant cruise socks, implying he's got, speaking of toes, the
Stinky
stinky feet.
Stanky
You
feet.
got stanky feet.
And I could tell that about Jeff. There's some people you just look at and go, stinky feet.
Stank.
Yeah.
Oh, show. They got stinky
You
little
can
piggies.
see the stank on him.
All 9 of those piggies are stinking.
All 9 of
Big-
these piggies are
big stinky.
fresh as a daisy.
And then he tells her that people know about the affair. He ran into the cops at the gym, and she doesn't actually ask me details about that, which I found funny. And they
He
take
was
kind
being a
of
doofus.
they take shots at each other. He's like, yeah, because you were gallivanting all around town. Everybody, it's a small town, Shauna. And she's like, yeah, small town enough to where maybe you wouldn't want to wear a ski mask and run around blackmailing people.
Yeah, and also you didn't know, you dumbass. Her.
Yeah, I was getting dicked down forever. You didn't know.
Forever.
Too busy blackmailing my friends.
We did it in our bed.
That's
he was
true.
right near you.
He was in
Closet.
the closet, you dummy.
It's true. We cut to Natalie creeping on a vexed Lottie. Lottie looks very stressed. She's creeping on in. And she says she's going to the bank. And Natalie wants the keys to bond with Lisa, is this essentially the short version of that scene, which I got the impression that Natalie, of course, had something up her sleeve. She wanted the keys for other reasons, maybe to get into Lottie's house or something was what I was thinking, because she keeps it locked, like her Charlotte's
I'm a little
web.
confused. I thought Nat was wanting to leave. Can Nat not leave? Or is she choosing to stay?
I think she's my take on all of the last couple of episodes is that she's slowly becoming entranced or seduced by Lottie's cult, even though she's the most stubborn against that person that there is. And that she wants to stay and she's unwilling to admit it, right? She's been intrigued. Like she can see her like lingering and looking in at little like yoga sessions and shit. Like,
But do we think
I
it's like,
disagree with you wholeheartedly.
do you think it's like just a hidden agenda of like, I want to, like, what is Lottie
well,
hiding?
keep in mind, Steve.
I think it's, yeah, she's trying to figure out what Lottie's hiding because she steals the keys, yes. and it doesn't come back around to the end of the episode where like, oh, no one's watching me. Now I can get into Lottie's house and get what she's looking after.
Sure. But I do.
But she just happens to hang out with Lisa for a day and feel like, oh, this kid's kind of cool. I'll help her out.
I do think there's parts of her that are buying into it, though.
Maybe parts of it, sure. But
keep in mind,
I think she's
in the trailer. There's a scene of Natalie going, "Lottie's going to help us. She's great, guys." Before you go too down the road of that's never going to happen.
I mean, I think there's still an element of like Lottie wants to help Nat, or vice versa. Or Nat is seeking help, because there is a scene where, in the trailer, Nat I think is getting treated by Lottie in some way, like in a sacred room. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not talking that she's not going to get
like
there.
Overall,
but right now with the show that's happened so far, she has her own motivations and she's not there content.
I agree with you. I just think that there's a lot more, like in the scene, especially with her helping Lisa, like that was like, she took joy from that. Right. And she's like surprised that she actually cares. And we'll get to that here soon. But I do think there's a lot of, we know this for a fact about Natalie, that she's got a lot of unaddressed trauma that the multiple stints in rehab have not healed whatsoever, right? But you'll notice that in this episode later on, she turns down alcohol. Like something about what she's doing right now is working more than it ever has. It was my take on it.
Sure.
She is a sneaky lady.
She do be sneaky.
I just think there's, Natalie wants to be loved. She loves love too. She just misses Travis.
She does love love.
And Steve loves love.
She loves Travis.
I love Travis. Yeah. I don't know why.
I love you too.
I was super good to you.
I wanted my friends to tell you were right.
I let you touch my wiener a bunch.
So many times.
Like literally.
So many positions. Even when like your hands were cold and I asked you one of those up first. You didn't. But I let it happen because I love you.
I love you, bro.
We love Travis on this show. So she's creeping. She does get the keys. She gets the keys. I don't know if I think Lottie was just too busy to see through that obvious deception, right? When we cut to Misty.
I know Lottie's dealing with a lot. She's having visions again.
She is. Misty can't reach Shauna or Taissa. She's leaving. She doesn't leave a voicemail, but she gets the voicemail, I think, of Taissa again. It might be Shauna, but she's tried to call both of them multiple times. Walter's driving. And he lets her pick the music. And for some reason, he's got a box of cassettes.
Yeah.
And
tapes.
Okay. And she's convinced he's like preying on her Yellowjackets fame, because these cassette tapes are all of her favoriteest musical soundtracks of all time. And that's evidence to her that he's been prepping this. He's been spying on her, right?
And he just wants to work with the famous Agent African Grey.
Yeah.
That's it, man. I don't care about that. It was like 30 years ago, and she's like 25.
Yellowjacket is the least interesting about you, girl.
Ooh, he's turning me up.
He's like saying
he's getting it.
He's saying all the right things to me.
Is this what they call the Riz, Steve?
Oh, Walter, big W on the Riz front. All right.
Okay.
Is he the Rizzler, Madison?
The Rizzler. He
puts the Riz in forensics.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he's saying all the right things. He's saying her friends are lucky to have her, a friend that is so ride or die for them, and they're going to call any moment because you're great. Here are the musicals you love.
Yeah, you just dropped a Sweeney Todd reference. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, so you just happen to love musicals? And he's like, yeah, I do. Super cute scene.
I have a heart, don't I?
I'm out the 10 man over here.
But I do love this cut because they start playing one of the tapes. I'm going to save it for the later in the show. But that song, they're listening to it on the cassette, but it cuts to young Misty and young Crystal singing the song in the cabin.
That was a good transition.
There was a couple good transitions in this episode specifically, but like this match cut was great. Yeah, I put audio match cut. I don't even know if that's what it's called, but and Travis is over eating some soup, some broth. It doesn't look great. Misty and Crystal are having a good time singing. And it's starling soup. So it's the birds that fell from the sky. They turned into soup. And Shauna bursts in and says, someone has been stealing beer meat from the shed. Beer meat. I wish they had beer meat. The beer cheese. Funny. Somebody got all the beer cheese. Bear meat. Reading's hard. From the shed. And Mari accuses the coach, of all people, of stealing the meat. Mari's starting to piss me off, too.
Yeah, Mari is annoying as hell.
Thank you.
More annoying than some might say Callie is.
Mari's being a hoe bag, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it is a dumb thing. Like, you know who is stealing the meat? The guy who can walk at 2 miles an hour. Like, that guy, Like, what? Why would she even accuse him?
I think Mari is like
he never leaves the cabin.
Right. He's like literally can't get up. But I think that Mari is the furthest in the Lottie camp. If you want to put it like a political spectrum, she's like super right-wing Lottie.
Which is surprising to me because like I feel like they haven't really established that enough about her until this episode. Because I feel like Mari took a really weird turn in this one.
I think they've been kind of leading up to it ish.
Yeah, but I when I think of who is in Lottie's camp, I don't think Mari. Because also Mari is in that 4 or 5 girls where every time they cut to her, it takes me half a second to be like, which one is that?
But you know who's been kind of back and forth is Misty. Misty's been kind of back and forth with Lottie.
Yeah.
Like,
She's mostly an outspoken Lottie supporter, but she's quick to... First off, Misty supports Misty above all else.
Period.
Period.
Yeah.
For sure.
Period.
But I feel like Mari, like a couple episodes ago, she was the one that was like... After the morning, it was maybe last week, the morning after they ate Jackie, she was the one that was like, who wants breakfast? Like, she's kind of been that way, like, the whole time.
Oh, she's always been a stick in the mud, yeah.
Yeah, the old stick in the mud.
She was the one, well, wasn't she the one that made fun of Mari, like made fun of Lottie in the first season when she was like, are you talking to your boyfriend, the ghost upstairs? And Lottie's like clap back with that, like, did you get done for your cousin or something?
Kind of a bully.
I can't remember.
Oh, she's the cousin lover.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
It's third cousins, Chris. All right, it doesn't count.
Doesn't. It's true.
Count.
Especially in New Jersey. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, specifically New Jersey's fine?
Well, that's where they're from.
Yeah, Mari is like always been kind of a butthead. I was just saying I feel like her like, you know, zealotness about Lottie for me was a little kind of like, but again, that
Didn't
could
work
be
for you.
That could be because Lottie's in that camp of girls that takes me longer than it should to figure out which one she is.
And I think, but I think what that is her immediate attack on the coach is because the coach didn't eat Jackie. And so that's their way of saying like, there's people that are already looking at him for not buying in to the party, the way things are going down. Right. And so that's what that is. I think that's why coach specifically is because they're all kind of looking there. It's basically, oh, what are you, a cop? You don't eat people now? Like that vibe.
Oh, good. I'm glad we're sharing a cabin with a vegan.
Yeah. This isn't awkward at all.
Yeah. Like, do you need something special to have for dinner? You can't eat what the rest of us are eating? Barf.
And I kind of buy that. Like I could see somebody making you feel extra guilty and there being resentment there. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I was hungry. We were all hungry. We were all doing it. And now you're making it weird, man.
Ooh, let's get breadsticks. Oh, wait. You're gluten-free. Can you eat that?
Buzzkill.
Blaming the coach, though. That was a low blow. And he claps back.
Yeah, he does.
He's like, I'll beat your ass.
He said, I'll club you with my stick.
What the fuck? I'm literally a grown-ass man. Come here. I can't catch you, but come here.
Someone catch her for me.
So, yeah.
Misty.
And then... he says, so what would you do about it? Exactly. If let's say I did steal it. Oh yeah, that's right. You're a girl. Like, he didn't
He's
say
like,
that.
would you eat me? Would you eat me?
Yeah.
And she's like, don't threaten me with a good time.
He said, you know I will.
And then they blame Nat, right? Who blames Nat?
Mari.
Fucking Mari just hop right to Natalie?
Yeah.
Mari is spitting fire. She is just
not looking good for Mari.
If you cross her sight, boom, she's got some words.
Yeah, she's like, Mari, you're the...
It could be the mean chick with the gun. That's who I'll go after next. You know? Why?
Yeah, Mari attacks Coach, then she attacks Natalie, and Natalie claps back. She's like, I'm the only one doing anything to get us food.
For real.
No, actually, Lottie is. She's the only one. She got the bear. She got the birds. How did Lottie get the birds? Well, it's because she bled on the symbol. This whole argument transpires. And ultimately, it's the Lottie crew versus the realists. And Natalie suggests, I think it's Natalie, suggests a contest with Lottie.
Yeah.
Which all of this stuff is like, Lottie isn't like speaking up about these being things.
No,
these
she's
things
really humble
happening.
about it.
Yeah. So part of me is kind of like,
yeah, she kind of lets it happen.
Yeah.
She's kind of in the background looking really uncomfortable with all of this.
Yeah.
Is what my take on it. Did you guys get the same vibe? She
100%. Yeah. She wasn't feeling it.
No, I don't want to contest. It's cold out there.
Like, Mari, stop. No. I don't.
I'm making all this up.
The birds just fell and I went with it.
I ran out of my pills.
The bear just fell asleep in front of me, you know?
The bear was impressive.
We found tumors on it.
I paid the bear $20 behind the cabin.
It was the cocaine bear.
It was a really bad deal for that bear.
That's true.
Here's $20 for us to kill you. Okay.
What is money? That's my bear voice.
Here, I'll
it's
throw
so
it.
impressive.
What is money?
Can you do the bear again?
What is money? I'm a bear. Clearly.
I'll throw in a picnic basket for you to
You-
sweeten the pot.
What's his name?
Boo boo.
Hey, boo boo.
Yeah, there you go.
My dad used to do that all the time. Let's not go there.
You would do Yogi Bear impressions?
Yeah, I'd be like, time for school. Hey, boo boo.
My goodness.
And back in 1996, we're in 2021 now. Natalie is driving with Lisa. And by the way, I love this show. I can't say that enough. However,
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
this green screen,
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it's bad.
it
That
looks
was
like
bad.
a Hitchcock movie. What the fuck?
And so what they do with car scenes when they're driving, they either put them in front of a green screen or they put them on like a
Those are-
trailer
Yeah.
and drive with like the camera like hooked onto the car. This, I just was like, you could have, the budget for this has to be,
Pretty good.
good.
Yeah.
why does this look like this?
I don't know. I was going to ask you guys.
It probably had to be a reshoot. That's my thought.
I did appreciate they did take attention to detail with the shadows of the light posts that they were crossing. Because I was watching
I
that. You
didn't
see a
see that.
shadow quickly going over them, and I was watching the quote unquote car behind them, and you would see a shadow pass over that car shortly
that's
after.
cute,
So I'm
yeah.
like, oh, at least they're paying attention to the elements in the shot. It's just
But
not
it still looks
composited in
bad.
very well. Yeah.
Still looks so bad.
I'm glad you guys noticed it because I didn't want another giraffe situation, but I was.
Oh, we're still justified in that giraffe situation, dude. I still. The giraffe was real. Yeah, but all the blue around it's not.
I just, I if it's a movie from like 1953, I'm like,
Sure,
like, hey,
whatever.
good on you. But I was like really confused.
It had to be. My thought is it was probably a last minute reshoot. Like they needed an establishing moment for Nat to get to Lisa's mom's house.
That makes
or something.
sense.
That or like us, the VFX team didn't know when this episode was coming out. And it
Yeah.
just snuck up on them.
That's
Yeah.
a thing that I've been really surprised by because I'm newer to some of the access that I have. And like they'll send me screeners for a season and that'll debut, like say it comes out in 4 days or something,
Yeah.
And they'll say, hey, episodes 5, 6, and 7 aren't finished yet. So don't judge those too harshly. And I'm like, I didn't know it was like that. Like when the premiere of a season 2 would drop that like half the
The latter
episodes
half
weren't
isn't
done
done.
yet.
Yeah.
Like they're literally rushing as they release to finish them.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild to me. So that could be very much be the case.
Yeah. That's what I interpreted it as. But it was bad.
Lisa claims that they're allowed to leave whenever they want, right? And they basically have this argument where Natalie's kind of poking fun at her, trying to poke holes in her philosophy and her love of this cult that she's in. Like, oh, you're allowed to leave for as many days as you want. How nice of them. Do you know that's weird to even have a rule about that, right? And then Lisa's like, well, there's no real rules. It's just something that she says is good for you, for your recovery, right? And then she said, hey, I was like you once. Lisa says, I was really skeptical and fighting this every step of the way at the beginning. And Natalie says, what changed? In Steve, I think, a very honest, inquisitive way. And then Lisa says, me. And then Natalie seems to ponder that, in my opinion.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, interesting. I didn't mean to.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying Nat has her own agenda.
Yeah.
She's not there like, oh, I guess I'm in the compound now.
No.
Yeah.
No,
I
I
think
agree with you.
there's-
I think both things can be true.
Yeah. I think we can meet halfway there. I think there's
No.
Way to
One
be a
side or
Shauna
the
about
other.
one
this.
side or the
You're being a
other.
real Shauna right now.
Listen.
We're at war. Pick a side, Madison.
But Lottie, we cut to Lottie and she's seeing a psychiatrist, but this one's a replacement one. And basically in this scene, we find out that her visions have increased and she's been going to a psychiatrist every 6 months for 10 years. Now she's 6 weeks early and she wants her meds upped because she needs these visions to stop. And I ask you guys, what do you think's up with this psychiatrist? Because we've never met her real psychiatrist. So
It's
it
Jason
seems like
Segel from Shrinking.
That's
her real-
amazing.
That's her real psychologist.
Do we think it's the same one that she had when she came back?
well, this lady's new, and she says, "Hey, sorry, so and so's out today. I'll be
Dr.
taking."
Graham. is
Dr.
out.
Graham.
So my question is, why include that detail, unless there's something else weird to be revealed later?
I think it's just more of a case to kind of emphasize she has come in early. Like,
Yeah.
'cause
Maybe the
he wouldn't have-
psychiatrist wasn't.
Yeah, he would have been there for her if it was their regularly scheduled appointment. But because she made this rush appointment because she's suffering, that I think that maybe it's just a way for them to accentuate that that's happening.
That's fair. That's fair. I know somebody had written or commented somewhere, I lose track of that. Her saying to explore her hallucinations more did not sound like a psychiatrist thing to say.
I agree with that.
And it was a little suspicious that she was also not her real psychiatrist. But I didn't know what to make of that at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it doesn't seem like something they would say. Oh, so yeah, stabbing, sacrificing. Okay, explore that.
Explore that.
How does that make you feel?
Right.
Stabby. That's how it makes me feel.
Yeah.
We'll explore that. Get stabby. Back in 1996, Misty is communicating the rules of the contest. And she's like, who's going to get the gun? And Lottie's like, I don't need a gun. Or no, somebody says, Lottie doesn't need a gun.
Mari, again, is like,
And
Lottie
Lottie's
doesn't
like,
need a gun.
I would like the gun.
And Lottie's like, okay, I guess I won't.
Lottie doesn't need a gun. Lottie can beat your dad up.
Yeah, she can.
Yeah, my Lottie can beat your Lottie's
She can
dad's ass.
Professor X,
Yeah,
finger to the brain,
Yeah.
fuck with you.
yeah. Lottie can bench press over 300 pounds, okay? Lottie is really good at trigonometry, all right? Lottie's killer in bed, okay? We all know it.
You said a lot of things there, buddy.
Lottie. I mean, that's Mari.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
I know.
energy-
I
Yeah.
I
You're
think
speaking
Mari
as
is
Mari.
in love with Lottie.
But Lottie does need a knife. They acknowledge that. She had to kill the bear with the knife. So they divide the weapons up that way. And the rules are such, I didn't even follow them. It's so goofy, but they have to kill something. They have to leave it there, right? And then like come get them or some shit. And nobody's allowed to help. It's silly. It's silly.
If
We're all
did,
just hungry.
You have to be back by sundown for it to count. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
And so we cut to Lottie. She hears something out in the woods, draws her knife. She's looking very scared and uncomfortable, to be honest. She sees one of the runes. And then Natalie's kind of got the same vibe going on. She sees falling snow, draws her rifle, and then sees some tracks in the snow. But they're both having an uncomfortable, lonely time. Back in 2021, Michelle, quote, I don't know, I put quotes around it, I don't know why, runs into Sean. Oh, that's just her name. Sean.
Michelle.
Michelle.
If that
Air
even
quotes.
is your real
Is that
name.
what we're called? Yeah, bitch. Michelle. Okay. Sounds fake. Runs into Shauna out and about. It's Alana's mom. That's right. And Shauna quickly finds out Callie has not been staying at Alana's house. And she's like,
Shauna's like,
I see.
okay.
Kelly's not allowed over here.
We-
So I'm sorry to tell you this, but your daughter sucks.
I thought you were going to eat crow with this episode a little bit. You don't feel that way?
No, I do.
Okay.
Okay.
No, Callie still sucks, but
Okay.
Shauna goes to searching Callie's room. She finds some condoms in her drawer. At least she's practicing safety.
That's good.
She I like how quickly she's like, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
a condom.
Adam's license?
Yes.
What?
And then she finds the dumbest MacGuffin of any show we've loved this much. Adam's little license. But it made me like it more if its only function is to bring Callie and Shauna together in a life of crime and not like some kind of weird thing for in episode 7 for Shauna to get arrested or something.
Yeah, like Callie
I kind of like it.
took it into the police or something.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do think it's kind of funny that she hit it with the condoms.
I think it's funny too that she's just as bad at hiding it as her mom.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
oh, right in my main drawer.
Oh,
Right next to all the other things that I don't want my mom to see. Just a bag of weed and some condoms.
yeah.
Shauna clearly does not give a shit.
My diary, do not touch mom, and Adam's license.
Well, she knows the only cabinet that Shauna goes into in Callie's room is wherever it's the picture. Sorry, that's good. The vibrator is.
Oh yeah, that's the only thing she hides now.
She's like, God damn it, Mom, get out of my room. That's my vibrator.
Now she puts condoms on it. Don't you dare. And then and Shauna, so she finds the Adam license thing. And we cut to Callie, and I think she's texting Jay, the cop.
Gonna meet him at 7.
Madison's dude, Mr. Mustache, Mr. Dreamy.
Yeah.
Shauna insists on Callie going with her. She pulls up in her van and says, hey, come with me. We're going to go do whatever I want to do.
Yeah, if you knew that your mom killed a man and she pulls up to you in her minivan and says, hey, get in. Oh, I don't know where we're going. someplace secretive. Would you get into that van with your mom?
Well,
Who do you think killed a man?
She suspects
Yeah,
she
she's
killed
suspicious.
a man. And it's your mom. I probably still would.
Yeah. I mean, she did bring her bunny.
You wouldn't give him
stuffed
Carol's
bunny.
car even if she was a murderer?
Oh, no. Also, Carol wouldn't be coy about it. She's like, hey, some bitch. I just murdered 3 people and then you're next. Get in.
Oh, okay.
It's funny you think this was a question.
Carol Wouldn't Be Coy is the name of my next mixtape. I'm super hyped about it.
Carol would be coy.
Can you
Can't
see like a
wait.
Third Eye Blind type album name with that? Like Carol Wouldn't Be Coy.
That was beautiful.
That's good.
Love that.
That was beautiful.
Save that soundbite.
When's that album dropping?
Clip that.
God damn it. You're making me blush.
Stop it.
Stop it.
Stop it.
But
Speaking of blush.
she insists on Callie going with her. We cut to Misty and Walter. I love them.
So good.
They're in, she says in small towns, everybody knows where the weirdos are. So she wants to ask the waitress. They're in like a diner.
It reminded me of Gilmore Girls. I don't know why that popped in my head when I saw them at the diner.
I've never, should I watch Gilmore Girls? Is it like this?
I mean, it's just like
Just
the
Misty and
small,
Walter
small
stuff?
town vibe.
Oh.
Yeah.
If it's Misty and Walter stuff, I'm watching it right now. I'm stopping the show. I'm going to watch Gilmore Girls all fucking night because I love this shit. He's eating a ham, egg, syrup, mustard taco thing.
Yeah.
He's making a little taco mustard.
I was
like Canadian bacon.
I was with him every step of the way until the mustard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean like the mustard goes with
Because you
the,
put maple syrup in it
But was
too.
it-
yeah.
Yeah.
But was it spicy mustard? Was it just
It was regular
mustard?
yellow,
Ooh.
right? I like
Yeah.
spicy brown.
Yeah.
Or even
Spicy
some
mustard.
Dijon.
Ooh.
Some Grey
Yeah.
Poupon. But not the yellow.
Hey man, when you become a multi-millionaire, shit happens to you. All right.
I guess so.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. So apparently he sued some construction company for
scaffolding.
scaffolding falling on him, and now he has a metal plate in his head.
Bing, bing,
Yeah.
bing.
Yeah.
Lawyers can believe I survived. So he got
has like
$6 million.
Yeah. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, he's just chilling. But then she decides to ask the waitress because she thinks his story is terrible and she's getting impatient. And so she jumps at and says, hey, where's the purple people at? And she's like, oh, I do know purple people, whatever it is. And the waitress is like, they're terrible tippers. I do know about them. They're at the farmer's market every Tuesday. And then, Will and Misty are like, oh my God, it's Tuesday. We got to get down there. They'll be down there selling their honey. And it looks like, I love this part of the episode because it looks like they're really going to want to, it sets you up to think that they're going to run into Natalie and Lisa there. And you're like,
Yeah.
oh shit.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
But that doesn't happen.
That's going to be a
No.
big moment though. They got to stretch that out a bit.
Yeah.
Yes. And because we might only have 5 episodes left. We don't know.
4 or 5.
Thaisa is still wandering lost and she gets offered a ride by a trucker. Always a safe thing, especially for a young woman. And he knows who she is, luckily. I voted for you.
I love the idea of a trucker driving on the highway and just having this thought. Is that my state senator? Let me see if she needs a ride.
Honestly, it makes me like you more. Don't mind my naked lady pen. There's all kinds of tits paraphernalia littered about this truck.
I thought it was hilarious with the naked pen.
I want that pen.
It's fun. It's cool.
It's fun.
I like it.
breasts and
Don't we
jotting
all?
things down.
Yeah. Those are
Combine
your
them.
2 favorite things.
Sometimes I draw boobs. What a pen to do that with.
That would, yeah.
yeah. Boobs.
I don't know why. I just looked at Madison.
I just was like, boobs.
I'm like, back me up here. Anywhoozle. But he seems like a nice guy, a genuine constituent, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, cool. I did like that line where he's like, it honestly makes me like you more. His relatability is important with politicians.
It is. I want to be able to have a beer with my politician and hitchhike them.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like if I was driving down the road right now and Mitch McConnell like, oh, I'm going up the road. Would you please give me a ride up there? I need to get up to Covington.
I'd flip him back on his shell and run away.
Oh, not again.
I'm stuck like this.
Oh,
Back in 1996, the girls are waiting for the results of the contest. Mari More Mari.
She's hearing shit.
She still hears the dripping. And there's a great shot in that moment. It does like I don't know if it's a dolly zoom, but it's like a wide lens on her face or something that makes her look crazy.
Kind of like not a fisheye.
It's almost a fisheye.
But not.
Because it's like when somebody looks through a peephole.
Yeah.
Like in Cable Guy, there's that like, oh. Anyway, they do that. And I like that shot. Akila's like wants to study. But Mari is begging her to help her look. Like, hey, you're not going to get into college soon anyway. We're all going to die here. And she's like, I am going to get into college when I get home. But she does help her look. She finds a mouse.
A little mice.
But then immediately hides it because she doesn't want anybody to eat her little mouse friend.
That's her buddy.
Which I think they wouldn't, right? Like, that's not going to do much.
Oh, they would.
I think they probably would.
They would.
Man, that's mean.
They would eat the shit out of that mouse.
Boy, now she's got to feed the mouse. That's another mouth to feed.
True.
Bad move, Akila. But she puts it in her little pocket. That's her friend. She's going to be like, what's his name? From Shawshank Redemption with the bird in his pocket.
Oh,
Ratatouille.
Yes. You're right. That's what I was thinking of. That's exactly what I was thinking of.
Yeah, from Shawshank Redemption. Ratatouille.
And Lottie ends up wandering to the sacrifice stump shrine thing, I suppose.
Yeah, from Doom Coming, right?
So she hasn't gotten far. It's like she's
been wandering for half an hour and hasn't gotten anywhere.
Guys, they can still hear. Lottie? I haven't found anything. It's scary out here. But I can tell you that Akila has a mouse. Like she tries to give him some info.
Right.
She's just looking through the window the whole time. But she cuts her hand and bleeds on it, right? And by the way, I don't know if you guys thought about this. That knife would be so fucking dirty.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They have sliced up.
She'd have to hack her hand off after a week.
Isn't it the knife that Shauna uses to cut the meat with?
Yeah, and the Jackie.
And the Jackie.
Yeah, there's so many diseases on that knife, and they couldn't possibly clean it. Like she's gonna get. I'm just saying, Lottie's gonna get infected.
They do be having a tub in this place.
What kind of soap do they be having?
I don't know.
I feel like all they have is like exfoliating creams and stuff. Because who packs like bars of Dial when they go on a trip?
Misty.
Nobody.
Misty definitely would.
She's got the bleach and shit.
She
That's all I
definitely
brought.
would.
She said, I knew this would happen.
It's just for Natalie's roots, so Madison doesn't get mad. Somebody did write in and say thank you. So I don't know if you saw that.
What is it?
So grateful Madison talked about the roots. It's been driving me nuts.
The what?
Natalie's
The roots? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because that's a little sus. She's been out in the woods a while.
It's definitely better this season.
And Natalie tracks her prey to the frozen lake. And I think it's the white moose, right? It's the Moby Dick.
The white moose.
And it's frozen in the center of the lake. She's too scared to walk on the ice. She tries, right? And then she runs back. In 2021,
you know what this ice needs? More people.
More people. Honestly, I thought that things were going to get way more tragic than they got.
She went to it, right?
She only got a few steps out, and she's like, "Oh fuck," and walked back.
I thought she wiped the snow off and found it.
Is that what she went all the way out there?
Yeah, she like wiped the snow away and was like, "Oh."
And that's why she said, "Oh fuck," because there's a moose down there.
Yeah,
that's typically what you say if you see like a giant land mammal.
Usually, when you see a moose in ice, you say that.
Yeah,
especially in ice. You got to think about it.
Oh, it didn't look pretty when they were trying to get it out. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Didn't look delicious
to them.
They was hungry.
Yep.
Lisa stops at her mom's house. She wants to see her fish. That's what she tells Natalie briefly, right? And she says, don't tell Charlotte that we came here, kind of belying what she said earlier about, hey, Charlotte's cool with us living our lives however we want to. And the mom asks, she's really rude. She's not a supportive mother.
Sybil?
Hey, yes, fucking, you know her name. She sucks if her name's Sybil.
Isn't there like
apologies to anyone named Sybil?
Well, I think this might be
not for me.
Maybe this might be a honeycomb, but isn't there like a popular mother character named Sybil, but she's like an abusive mother to her daughter?
The only Sybil I can think of is Trelawney.
Trelawney. Oh, okay. From Harold Potter.
Mm-hmm. Harold Potter, indeed. Isn't her name Sybil Trelawney?
I think you're right.
She's the divination professor or something. I don't know. I don't read that shit.
Maybe.
I can
look it up.
I was a Harry Pothead back in my day. But her name is Sybil, for sure. We know that this mom is. And she says, hey, are you off your meds? You've always been depressed, right?
Oh, okay. So Sybil is a book about split personality, but it's been deemed a hoax. That's what I'm thinking of. Okay.
Natalie, early to the defense of Lisa, and eventually I think the mom is like, can you fuck off. And Natalie's like, oh, I guess. But we cut back to Shauna briefly. She's driven Callie far away. Beckons her to talk. She gets out of the van, parks it right in the middle of the road. Come talk to me. Taps the hood. Come on, come. And then she's like, hey, anything else you've lied to me about, Callie? Because I noticed that you've not been staying at Alana's, right? And then she's like, oh, anything you want to tell me about? Maybe murdering people? She asks about the license. And Shauna tells her she killed him. And like, it's
I did. I killed him.
Yeah.
He kind of had it coming. No, he didn't. Actually, he did.
I love that development.
I loved it.
Where she almost lies and then says, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Because at first she's like, yeah, I mean, but he deserved it because he was blackmailing me. Oh, fuck. No, he wasn't. And
Your dad was.
And then Callie's like, so you killed an innocent person? And Shauna, you can see Shauna like nodding, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably,
she doesn't seem too, she's pretty nonplussed about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, somebody wrote in, like, I think Shauna sucks. You guys love Shauna. Shauna's definitely a psychopath.
Shauna's does suck, but she's interesting.
I like her.
I will say this scene made me think that Adam is innocent because I feel like they wouldn't have introduced this mindset with Shauna.
I don't think they're ever going to. I think we're just supposed to believe his studio is near that hotel she was at.
Yeah.
And the guy who happened to hit her car happened to wander in. And that's all we're ever going to know about Adam. It's just an innocent guy.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it so much.
It's so weird, isn't it?
Yeah. It kind of makes me upset because every time, if that is the case, that really opens up all the other can of worms that we were talking about earlier, where it's like, maybe there is no supernatural thing. It's just a dumb coincidence constantly. Mm-hmm. And all this stuff, like these theories that people have that are interesting. It's kind of like, well, I don't know. The Adam stuff was such a wet fart. I think if they keep it that way.
Not a wet fart.
No, I a wet one.
That noise.
Yeah.
But I mean,
a shart.
If I had to choose like learning about Adam or if he was as innocent as we thought, or if there wasn't any supernatural stuff, I would probably take the not having Adam be innocent or something. Or excuse me, Adam be innocent versus not having any supernatural.
Yeah.
Don't get hot, Madison.
I know. I'm punching shit.
You're punching
oh
the
my
mic.
God. Calm down. Yeah, I agree. I do think that they've kind of leaned into that. I also think it's a mistake. Not as big a one as maybe you do, but I do think it was a flub early on. And I think that's a case of developing things as you go along because they admitted they had considered maybe he's Javi themselves, right? They admit to considering that at one point. Mm-hmm. Or maybe things just went to, oh, what if he's just like a nice guy and she kills him? Like I could see that in a writer's room and you being like, oh, dude, that'd be so sad. I don't know why. I assume they're all stoned when they write this show. Right?
Totally. Yeah, Ashley and Bart, they're just in their rooms.
And then they eat her, dude.
Then they eat her.
It's delicious meal.
Their Travis is in there writing. It's delicious meal.
Let me tell you, guys, here's my idea. You put me in the woods with a lot of women, right? And I'm like the only beefcake around for them to ogle, all right? I mean, there could be an adult, but he doesn't have like a leg or something.
Right.
But they all want me, and like, that's the show.
Dude, that's such a good idea. Let's run it. Print it, man.
And
then the writers expounded on. He's like, I think we're losing the plot here, guys.
What is this adult versions of these characters? I'm dead. I don't like this. But yeah, she spills all the beans for Callie. Callie looks shocked, to be fair.
Yeah.
But comforted by the truth. She's terrified, right?
Well, I don't know. Part of me's like, you kind of wanted that. You wanted the truth from your mom.
You can't handle the truth. That's where that line came from in the other movie, right?
Right, yeah.
Well, and there's a moment where she's like, so you're just, Dad's cool and you suck? And she's like, well, no.
She dragged
Dad's the reason all
Jeff.
of it. Yeah. Jeff's actually the reason all of this happened, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that.
Which I don't agree with.
That's the one part, like, so this scene in particular was kind of like, okay, Callie doesn't suck in this scene, right? But there's one moment where she's like, I was right. Dad's awesome and you suck. Like, Dad was never awesome, Callie. No one believes you thought that. No one ever did.
Callie is just like, Dad is Dad. He like he's so innocent, But then
Yeah.
Shauna's like, actually, he's fucking not.
He's,
And this is why.
Yeah, it's kind of his fault.
Well, there's a cool moment. What comes out of that is that Callie's like, well, what would they have to blackmail you guys about? And she's like, we did things out there. I'd rather not tell you right now. But she implied like, if you press it, I'll tell you. Like she's ready to come clean with everything. But she's asking her
Everything?
like, everything. Out of love, would you please not ask me to tell you that part yet? And Callie respectfully does refrain from asking any more questions about that.
Yeah.
And then Callie promises not to tell anyone in a way I wasn't entirely convinced
Yeah.
would not.
My note literally says, well, this seems resolved.
Sure.
Sarcasm.
I do think we're going to see more of, they're telegraphing an incident where she spills too many beans with the cop, right?
Yeah.
And that's
Which is
hopefully
how-
a red herring.
Which
but
is how the cops ultimately found out about the affair. Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. It's Callie, 100%.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people online are hoping Jay is a cop with ulterior motives, like some kind of relationship to Adam, maybe, or maybe some kind of nefarious purpose other than being a cop. I don't think so, though. I think they want him to be like a kind of like a villain that would resort to providing booze to an underage girl.
He's already a villain. Like cops shouldn't be
Right.
sexting teenagers for information. All right.
Sure.
Like it's
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah.
Sure.
You don't need much more than that. ACAB,
Well, and
baby.
Kevin, who's I'm guessing Jay's superior, is like telling him you don't need to do
Hey,
that.
don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Knock
So
it
there's definitely like this element of he's doing it at his own
Look, man,
will.
what we do around here, we go to the gym. All right. Sometimes our perp is just in there.
Yeah.
We lift a few pumps of iron. I don't know what you call it where you're from. We call it pumps.
We get a pump.
And we let them confess. That's what he's telling Jay.
Yeah.
You know?
You make
You know-
sure they see you when they're on the bench press.
I wear these tiny shorts where my balls hang out a little bit.
Yeah.
Draw some attention.
We all know
I call it peacocking.
Peacock. You come strutting into the Planet Fitness. Because we all know the bench press is the most emotional place you can be in the gym.
Yes.
A lot of emotions run high on that bench.
And I got the
Press.
black card so I can go to any part of town where crimes are being committed. And I get the hydro massage chairs. That's a personal tip. Has nothing to do with the job. But what we don't do is talk to the daughters. That's weird.
That's weird. That's where
That's
I draw the
weird.
line.
That's weird.
Kevin with a Y out. That's what he said. He speaks. In the third
I think Kevin with a Y needs to lean into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how he gets off the CB.
He starts talking like The Rock from WWE, like Kevin with a Y. Always talking in the third person.
Yeah, man.
Kevin with a Y is going to walk down Jabroni Street wearing his great shirts. Stick his size 12 boot right up your candy ass.
Candy ass.
Kevin with a Y out.
That's right. That's his call sign. You regretting being on the show yet?
Not yet. I'm just enjoying.
Not yet.
I'm just enjoying.
There's been moments.
No.
Back,
I'm enjoying it.
back in 96, Van's tree map, that's what I called it. It forms the symbol itself, right? On Coach's map.
I love this part because like Thaisa says like they're just random dots. You can literally make any shape
Yeah.
you want. And I'm like, yeah, Ty, you're right. It's the same thing we made fun of Misty for in this first season when she took the crime
Yeah.
scene photos and made the shape.
Yeah.
It's just random ass dots. You can do whatever the fuck you want with it.
Right.
Well,
I loved it when she took the one piece of yarn and made the circle. Like okay,
okay.
all right.
It's just like, this means that the next symbol will be here. And it's like, okay.
But she's not wrong, sort of.
Well, there wasn't a symbol there.
There
But
wasn't
there
a symbol.
was a Javi.
There was a hobby.
What are the odds of that?
I call him a symbol.
That's right.
A sex
You
symbol.
think the symbol formerly known as Javi.
Yeah.
I guess.
The symbol formerly known as Javi. That's how he signed his legal documents
Yeah,
now.
just the triangle circle. Wherever he is. That's why nobody can find him. It's hard to Google symbol.
God, I love that.
But Thaisa denies it again, and Steve's with her. But Van wants to go look for the final tree, right? And so we go to the coach is reading a book called The Magus. I don't know the significance of that. I'm not a professional. I didn't Google it. Google it your damn selves. Maybe Steve looked it up. Maybe Madison did. But he starts to think of Paul again. And Paul had photos of an old boyfriend and has this memory of him and how he got jealous. And I really like this scene because it made me think like, God, this would suck, right? Like he's sitting there. Sure, all the girls are cannibals. I'm probably going to die here. Sure, I lost my leg. That was awkward and shitty. That was a bad day.
Yeah.
But like also, I still vaguely remember things that I used to care about, even though that they're petty. And like, I think he's imagining Paul already moving on, right? Like he's had a full life, all these other boyfriends. He could easily get another one. And like that would suck.
Yeah.
Because I've been in places, and we briefly talked about it earlier, where I was isolated from my friends and family for months at a time. And, you know, there's some dark moments where you think about like, do I even really matter? And you're just laying there imagining everyone else just living the life that you used to be a part of without you and being completely unaffected by your absence. And that's a terrible feeling.
Yeah.
So I thought this was
it's very sad.
It's a neat thing. They've been leaning into the coach more this season. And I feel like it's because they're leaning towards saying goodbye to that character.
Yeah.
And that's why they're telegraphing these kinds of like empathy moments.
Yeah, I agree.
But
which is sad.
This scene's great. And we and Paul are going to miss him dearly if that happens. But back in 2021, Lisa's mom, Sybil, still giving her shit. The fish's name is Gilly. It's
Gilly 14.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's the four? Oh, because she had 13 others.
Yes. She's killed a lot of Gillies.
I got there. I thought it was like a COVID kind of thing. And actually,
I got Gilly 14.
I got the Gilly 14. Natalie stands up to her. She comes down and comes on pretty strong, actually. And it's like, fuck you and your whole family. And Lisa gets mad. She's like, hey.
If her therapy's working for her, that's okay.
And it's true. She's got a point.
Yeah. Why do you care what she's doing as long as it's helping her?
And she's very codependent, though, this Lisa. Like, she wants her mom. Like, she thinks Natalie's overstepping her bounds here. She's angry at first. She snaps at her, tells her to get out. Sybil storms off. And then back in the car, though, Natalie had smuggled the fish out. Gilly's in her mouth. Look, I guess she recalled that she had a nice fresh bottle of water in the car with a lid on it.
Yeah.
Lucky.
Otherwise, that wouldn't have worked out.
Yeah.
Just looking around the car.
Or that would have sucked if she was walking out and like tripped on an uneven sidewalk and it's like, oop. Oh no. We need to go buy a 15th Gilly.
Oh no.
COVID. Gilly 15. It's on my mind now.
I loved that scene. I thought it was so fun.
It was such a good, like, we've never really gotten to see Natalie except for when she had that fling with Kevin.
Yeah.
And they sat with the girls in the car and they drank a little bit waiting on the blackmailer.
Yeah.
We've never really seen her let her hair down, as it were, be happy at all. Maybe at the reunion a little bit.
Sure.
She doesn't get those moments often. She's usually quite a mess.
It was just a very nice gesture for her to take into consideration Lisa's like emotions and how she was feeling. And she was like, I'm going to steal this fish and stick it in my mouth, which was crazy.
Yeah. You ever had a fish in your mouth?
No.
But they do them at a lot of fairs and stuff. That's why I asked, like, you swallow fish kind of thing. What about you, Steve?
Do I what?
You ever had a live fish in your mouth? Like
have I ever put a live fish? No.
Oh, okay.
I put a lot of dead fish in my mouth. Yeah.
Cooked fish.
Sometimes raw.
Sometimes raw. Sushi. Sashimi.
So I love a sashimi. Boy.
Do you? Barbecued eel?
Yellowtail's my go-to sashimi.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know that I've had that or not.
It's my favorite.
Take me out sometime.
All right, let's go.
Go sashimi in. So they drive off, the fish and Lisa's like, she has a little smirk. Like, oh my God, thanks, friend. New friend. No, you stabbed me in the face, but maybe I love you. Maybe we're friends. I forgave you for a good reason.
Yeah.
And we come back to Misty and she finds out the cult never showed up at the farmer's market. They're not there to sell their honey. Sunshine honey? Oh, they're not here. I don't know where they're at. Walter had an Airbnb on deck.
Oh, he was ready.
He was ready.
I guess we're going to have to spend the night together. I found a place pretty quick. It's no big deal. It's 3 blocks that way.
It's on my lock screen. No big deal.
The GPS is already in.
Yeah.
We can go right now. It'll take us 10 minutes.
It's like it's getting dark soon. We can't keep doing that. It's like 5:32.
Yeah, it's definitely not that dark out.
But she's like, okay.
Alrighty.
I don't hate it.
I mean, how often do you get offered to go to a bed and brekkie?
Not often.
Not often.
Me personally, almost never.
She's like, we need to find my friend Nat. I'm worried about her. Bed and breakfast. Fuck Nat. Bed and breakfast. We got to find Nat.
If she's made it this far,
There's
she'll be fine.
probably a basket with jars in it.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Can't wait.
But back in 96, Natalie comes back with Moose News.
Moose News.
I got Moose News. And everybody breaks the rules to go help, right? Fuck the game. We're hungry. Except, I guess, Mari.
Mari.
She's a stickler for the rules.
And everybody's like, dude, we're super hungry. Like, fuck the game. And Marty's like, no.
Yeah,
Lottie's going to win.
Yeah, Misty's like, shut the fuck up.
Win what? Yeah, Misty almost punches her. I hate you.
You're not Crystal.
And Lottie's just walking and bleeding. And I love my notes as my dumb brain tried to process what was going on. Finds another plane.
I know.
Finds another plane.
It has Leonard in it. Laura Lee's necklace, a secret hatch, ellipses, to an elevator, ellipses, to a mall, ellipses. I was so fucking, at no point during any of those obvious clues did I think this isn't actually happening. I was like, this show has gone off the deep end. There's a whole mall underneath. I obviously thought it was a portal, Madison. I'm not an idiot.
Clearly.
It's not literally under. It was a portal.
Wow.
But quickly I realized, because I'm no spring chicken.
No, but does this debunk the underground like bunker thing? Because I thought because they previewed Lottie going down this hatch last episode. I was like, oh, there's like a secret hatch, like cabin in the woods type of thing.
Secret tunnel.
Yeah.
Secret tunnel.
But I guess that's no longer a thing.
It could be a thing. We don't know where Javi's been hanging out. Maybe.
That's so true.
Was this sequence just a jab at Lost?
It could be. Like, my notes had a similar path where it was like, Lottie finds plane covered in snow. Leonard's okay. Finds cross necklace. There's a hatch in there. So this is Lost.
There we go.
But yeah, and so I was watching the scene. My girlfriend came over and we were watching the scene together, and I see Leonard and I freak out. I'm like, Leonard's okay, yay! And she's like, it's clearly a vision, sweetheart. I'm like, not in my headcanon. My headcanon, Leonard's back with a vengeance.
Yes.
All right, he's ready to. He can fly.
He's in charge of all this shit.
Yeah, he's the captain now of that plane.
Since it's a hallucination, I'm disappointed they didn't just have Leonard talk. That seems like a way cooler.
Hello, Lottie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hug
Go on, Leonard.
Yes.
Your friends are at the mall downstairs.
Why is
Why
Leonard
does
Kermit?
Yeah.
I'll let you know. I've been in this plane all day, just waiting for you, my favorite human.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a lie. My favorite human is Laura Lee. She smells like cabbage.
But in the mall, all the girls are cleaned up. They're in the food court, and Laura Lee is there. And Laura Lee saves her, sort of. She at least says, hey, you got to go. It's cold. This isn't real. Because they're at like Panda Express or some shit.
Is this the in-between place? Kind of like...
That's kind of what I thought.
Like when Jackie kind of saw everybody hanging out in the cabin before she died.
Yeah.
Because Laura Lee seems like the only one that's acknowledging Lottie's like external feelings with being cold and stuff. And then everyone else is just kind of acting as though it's normal.
Yeah.
Or just like the reality that they're in is normal.
Right. But yeah, but her vision of Laura Lee, like whether that is like the spirit of Laura Lee or whatever, that's what pulls her away from that realm. And
It's not
presumably
effectively.
doesn't get her killed.
She just passes out in the snow, though. But yeah, I guess it was her like, don't relinquish to this because this is you giving up life and like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, she's only like 20 feet away from the house. We know that.
Yeah.
So
Did you see the? I like this subtle. What do you call it? Wardrobe touch where Lottie's belt is is just a seat belt from the plane.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
They've been doing that with Nat as well. Like they've been kind of utilizing different elements of the plane in their wardrobe, which I thought was really cool.
It's fun.
I do love their winter gear, how they take like ripped up shirts and wrap them around their faces and stuff. It's really clever how they're surviving and how the wardrobe department thought to include that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I also liked the mall scene because they were hinting at Lottie's previous when she would steal from like TJ Maxx and stuff. Like they were hinting maybe that's why she was in a mall, because she would frequently steal.
I forgot about that.
From malls and TJ Maxx, I think was where she was sold. Yeah.
It was just weird because they already got decent deals.
And she's rich.
Sure.
Like a Target I could see. You know.
You steal at a Target, but not TJ Maxx?
Yeah, goodness. Too much
Urban
money.
Outfitters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, right?
Yeah.
I steal at Dollar General.
You do.
All the time.
All the fake money and stuff, the toy money.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing to steal. We cut to the rest of the girls. Everybody's trying to dig out the moose. And they got horses. Jesus Christ. They have ropes tied to the moose. And I guess that's the antlers. I couldn't see much else.
Yeah. I think it was just, around the antlers.
Are antlers like attached to the skull, the bones?
Yes.
So that's a good thing. That's a good purchase to get, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're just a yanking that moose, as you do. But that would be tough on ice,
Yeah.
It's almost an impossible job without cleats.
I want to know what situation befell that moose where it got there.
Again, I mean, if you don't buy that there's a supernatural thing going on, then you have a hard time explaining that moose for sure.
I mean, maybe it died, floated around in the water for a bit, and then it froze over.
Or it swims really slowly.
It's like, oh no.
It's a freezer.
The scene from Day After Tomorrow is happening where everything's slowly freezing.
No.
Where's that bear? He said he had $20. He was trying to party. Because he talks slow because he swims so slow. He's like an ent.
But I don't know how it got there. Honestly, it's a
one of the
mystery
mysteries.
to me. Yeah.
I think it's a supernatural moose. It's a Moby moose. Because that lake is really fucking deep.
Yeah.
It's a surprisingly deep lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most lakes that I know of.
The shore of that lake had to have a steep cliff because they're maybe 15 feet away from the shore.
I think
20
they're
feet
pretty.
away?
They're in the center of the lake.
Are they the center?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm trying to think of a better way that they could have gotten that moose out, but I really don't think there was.
Well, I think snowmobiles and a winch system
Sure.
would have been better.
Also, how the fuck did they get 4 axes? Did you see that when they were hammering the
I
lake?
don't know what they were hammering.
I'm like, you've had axes this whole time?
Maybe they fabricated them. I told you they had at least one.
When
Misty, I don't know what she cut dude's leg off with, but I could have swore it was a real tool.
But it wasn't an
axe.
Maddox.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know, man.
Whatever.
They got him.
They got him.
They found him in the cabin. But the moose falls. They slip. The moose sinks, and it's heartbreaking. Natalie, that shot where Natalie sticks her face in the cold ass water and watches the moose plummet.
Mm-hmm.
She always falls in.
She does, but she doesn't even care. She's so sad.
Yeah.
That's my moose friend. And back in 2021, Lisa and Nat are at a bar, right? She's getting a pep talk. Natalie turns down the alcohol, right? She says, hey, something like, aren't you sad? Don't you feel like shit? Don't you want to die? Something like that. Not today.
Not today. She wants to take care of that fish today.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we cut to Walter. The hotel that he booked is under the name John Wayne. And
John Lang?
is it Lang?
Lang,
I heard Wayne. I was taking a note.
Same thing.
I thought it was John Wayne.
And Misty chooses the name Lady Malawan, which you don't need to choose a name, I don't think. There's already the reservation, but I guess she does buy an extra room. So Walter was really trying to skid it in in there.
Yeah, he was.
Oops, only got one room.
Maybe it is John Lang.
Who's John Lang?
John Lang is a novelist, and so is Lady...
Malawan?
Yeah, that's Agatha.
Good catch, Madison.
That's
Knuckles.
Agatha Christie is Lady Malawan.
Lady Malawan. It sounds like a
Sounds like a
Jedi.
Star Wars
Yeah.
character. Lady Malawan. Have you decided to take a Padawan yet?
Padawan Malawan. Misty insists on 2 rooms. And there's this awesome sequence where they're doing the same thing
So good.
Guys,
simultaneously.
They're perfect for each other.
Yeah.
They're both disinfecting the fucking mask that Walter's wearing. She's just got
so
one
good.
mask.
under her eye, but he's got his whole face.
Yeah, that was I cackled when he.
It was so good.
Let them fuck. Oh my God. There was that moment when they both kind of get up should I go talk to her?
Yeah.
I was like, go for it, you weirdos.
Do it.
Get it.
Do
You
it.
are it. Oh, I love love. I wanted to see it happen.
And the song playing during that, it says, I've got angst in my pants.
Yeah, Angst in My Pants by Spark.
I've never heard that song before, but it fit the moment very
It
well.
did fit the moment really
Got angst
well.
in my pants.
It was good.
Because he did. He had angst in his pants.
And it was the split screen. So good.
You never pull off a good split screen nowadays. Last time
It's
I seen
hard.
it, it was like Steven Soderbergh, Ocean's 11, maybe. That was the last time. Shauna and Jeff apologize at the same time to each other in their next scene. Jeff admits to not being fully over and I thought this is a very mature apology. Like, hey, I'm not fully over the affair. And she's just like, that's fair. I fucked him a lot.
That's fair.
It was super good. Way better than you. I can imagine you wouldn't be over that yet. And we did stuff I didn't even know was possible. Definitely never done it with you. Probably never would.
Yeah.
Shauna's only been with one person.
Yeah, that's true.
She's only been with Jeff.
Well, 2 now.
Well, now, but
Maybe
then.
Travis.
Only one
We don't know
living
what happens
person.
out there.
It's true.
Only one living person. It's true. And Shauna admits to telling Callie everything. And Callie wants to help cook, is my next note.
Well, Jeff's upset about that because he's like, we only have one shot to make a good
I
child.
know. It was a heartbreaking reason.
That line to me. So I'm under the impression that Callie is not the child from the forest. I don't think that that's
100% not.
No, I don't think so.
So there's also this hovering idea of like, does Jeff know about?
Well, he says something like, we only have one child,
Yeah.
and it cuts to Shauna, and Shauna makes a face.
And I was watching it with my mom, and we were having this disagreement because I was like, this is alluding to this idea that he doesn't know that there is a child before Callie. And my mom was like,
Well,
no, it was just.
He might know about the child before Callie because he's read her journals from her time there. So he might know about that.
True.
But in his
I guess
mind,
that's
it's
true.
like he
In
didn't.
the present, like one child.
Yeah. He doesn't, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. That the child that she has in the wilderness is definitely a big mystery, but I don't think it's Callie for sure.
Yeah. I just didn't. It was just interesting that they paused on Shauna not for that shot for a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
I love what Jeff says about how we've only got one. Our job is to protect her, and he's right. Like, I don't know that it was the right thing that Shauna did. I love being honest as much as possible, but he says very practically, you've made her an accomplice to murder now. Like, if she doesn't go to the police, now she's in trouble. Like, she's part of this, right? Whether we want to or not. That's a fair point.
And my suspicion of Callie remains just because when she showed up, like, can I chop something? I'm like, did you talk to Jay? Are you a mole? Are you a rat?
He's wearing a wire?
You wearing a wire? Where's your wire?
I didn't read it that way at all, but
I
that'd be
didn't
funny.
either. To me, I'm like,
I'm
this
just
is
sus on
this is
Callie.
a Bonnie and Clyde fam. I don't know.
That's what I want. Yeah.
That's what I want.
Just the whole criminal family. They're going to have to kill Jay, and Callie's going to be part of it.
Yeah.
Got to kill him now.
Like Shauna's was Adam, Jay will be Callie's.
Speaking of Adam and the baby, I did read a theory. I think this is in one of our emails that gets sent to us. I don't want to see what you guys think. I know we're running really late on time, but this is very relevant to what you guys were talking about. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think it would be good. It'd be juicy if somehow the baby does survive. She brings it back. It goes up for the adoption. That baby grows up to become Adam.
Oh, I don't like that.
Gross.
I don't like that at
Kyle's
all.
mom, get out of here.
I don't approve.
I don't like that at all.
Isn't that like some like, oh, but like in a show kind of ways, like
But it's just like she killed her son. She
Yeah.
didn't know.
stabbed him. Yeah. After she fucked him, just to be clear.
No.
No return,
I don't like
no return, no
it.
reason.
Yeah, no reason, no return.
No.
Anyway, just something to, you know.
I mean, I think if they do go to this route of the child from the forest is brought back and does survive, I think there's a world where it does come back as like an adopted child, or I have no idea, but I don't see it being any of the current characters we have met thus far.
Could be Randy.
What if it's Kyle's? What if it's Kyle?
Oh,
What if the baby is Kyle?
oh.
You stay away from my little man.
I don't know if we can have cannibalism and incest both in the same
I
show.
disagree.
Okay.
You're talking to a Game of Thrones lover right here.
All right, all
I need
right.
all of it.
I guess that's fair. That's fair.
There's so much more they can do.
They haven't even begun to scratch the surface.
They can make you like it.
That is a weird achievement that Game of Thrones achieved.
Yeah, it
They
is.
can make you identify with those characters. Back in 2021, Lisa and I got really distracted thinking about Game of Thrones, and
Callie is cutting cucumbers.
she's chopping that cucumber. But back in 1996,
Chop.
Natalie's in the bath bin. I never knew they had a bath bin. That makes me feel better because we were talking a few episodes ago.
Well, that's what I said
About that
about
stank.
sterilizing their weapons. Like they have a tub. If they have warm water,
It
they
might
could
just
probably,
be warm water.
Well, yeah, but yeah.
That's not how you sterilize weapons.
I know, but still, like you're doing something.
I wipe the blood off.
Making a warm
Right.
bath for someone with that much water.
That would
That's
be-
a lot.
That's gotta be like how long was that?
They
would that
have to
take?
draw straws on who gets first and who uses the cold, dirty water eighth. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because there's no way they're
It
refilling
also would
that
have
for
to be
every.
like an assembly line of like people bringing water in and out because
Hi ho, hi ho.
yeah. Because, they have to have buckets and buckets and buckets of water to fill that up. And it's like, where are you getting the water from? The fucking lake? Like,
Melting snow.
shit.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, does it?
Yeah. But whatever. Movie magic. We love it.
I'm just glad Natalie got a hot bath after in that frozen lake.
I really
right?
hope Van and Ty also got back.
I need to believe.
Yeah. They bathed together.
I want to believe.
And they bust in with frozen Lottie. And they say where the plane used to be. So she was just out there tripping balls. Natalie and Lottie have a moment. Hey, can we be in our bath together, please? And and they talk about some apology. Hey, good game.
GG.
It's real. Yeah, they give the old GGs.
GG, girl.
Classic Halo talk.
No camp. GG.
Back in 2021, Lottie's reading through everyone's like self affirmations or some shit. And then
They all mysteriously have the same handwriting.
that's true. That's
Right?
true.
It's just Lisa
It's just
writing a
like
line.
one nerd is doing them for extra credit.
Yeah.
And I think she hallucinates a Queen of Hearts with the eyes marked out. And Lottie,
Man with no eyes? Question mark?
yeah, it's either that or somebody else suggested. I like that, but it might be a clue that she's the queen, the antler
Yeah,
queen,
yeah, yeah.
because it's a Queen of Hearts.
Yeah.
But then Lottie walks through her little kingdom at night. She's got her knife. And then she goes down to bleed for the stump again. It's not the same stump. I guess any stump will do.
Any stump will do.
Yeah. He likes
It's kind of like a
stumps.
payphone, but for the wilderness.
Right.
Just
Yeah.
find a stump.
It's like a node for the spirit. He likes stumps.
Can you connect me to the spirit, please?
Steve loves love.
I'd like to make a collect call.
Spirit stump.
Requires blood.
And she says, can this please be enough?
Yeah.
Can this just be enough, please? Implying that it's typically not, because we saw that when she cut her hand and tried to get food when she was in the contest with Natalie. Obviously, she lost that contest, even though Natalie was nice about it, right? She almost died. So that wasn't enough. And I think we can safely assume she later sacrifices something bigger, like maybe someone's actual life for benefits, then that does work. So she's saying, in this instance, can this please be enough, right? That's probably all obvious. I just want to hammer that home. Back in 96, Van and Taissa can't find the last tree. Taissa's actually being really nice, to her credit. Like, oh, maybe the tree's over here. We haven't looked over here yet, because Van's pretty down about it, right? And then they find more melted snow. Not the first time we've seen melted snow, correct?
Yeah.
And what do we think this is? This is a fire. This is where Javi's been setting fires to stay warm, I
I
think.
really don't know.
It's something to do with the moss on the stumps, right?
I
Stump
don't
moss.
know. But it's like, how is he lighting shit on fire?
Fucking, he's got a lighter. I can only guess.
I guess.
How does he get dry wood? I don't know.
He just
How
like
has he survived?
What if he's like a fucking beast and he does the stick
just-
rubby thingy?
the
yeah.
ASMR?
I should have told him.
he just starts laying down some like wicked like rap lyrics. He's
What if he came out covered in bark and like mud eyes and shit?
Because he's looking clean.
Rufio.
Yeah.
La, 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 la. Can you do a
But-
Xena warrior princess, Steve? La, 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 la. I fucking knew it.
Don't look at me.
Come on, man.
Cameras on you, Madison.
La, la,
No.
la, la, la. But yeah, so what's this melted snow? I think it has to be little fires and stuff. But I don't know
Probably.
what else it would be. There was some moss thing that it was in relation to, Steve, but I don't know what that means.
I don't know either. Because Nat found some melted snow like that earlier.
She
Yeah.
did. She's
Yeah.
like, hey, what is this? A snow castle? And they see and chase someone. Huh? Javi? I was super hyped. Javi?
Yeah.
Back in 21, Natalie watching Lisa show off her fish, playing with the keys. Seems like a happy mom, but also sneaky, not to be dancing around that.
She's going to go breaking in something.
Charlotte's house, I would imagine.
You know what makes me feel good at night after I help some kid with her fish? Beanie.
Robbery, baby. Back in 96, they bring Javi in.
Okay. Before we get super into this Javi thing, they break Javi into the cabin, right? The first, the shot is of this girl, this blonde girl who's like she says something like, "Oh my God," or something like that. Who the fuck is that girl?
I don't know.
Is it Melissa?
She popped. It's a blonde girl. I don't think we've seen her.
I think it's Melissa.
Or at least she
was,
hasn't had-
was one of the other girls from the trio that we saw in episode 1.
What? Okay, because they like were close up on her. Like,
Was she wearing a
who-
backwards hat?
No.
Oh.
No, she's just a blonde-haired girl, like just letting it all hang loose. And I'm just like, who? And I was so distracted by this whole scene. Like they're bringing Javi in, and I could not focus on anything but her. Like, who is that? What is this person? That's like someone who's like,
Why did we need to see her reaction?
yeah, why is she the one speaking? Why not any of the other girls I know their names of?
I don't know. I'll have to go back and watch because I didn't think about it.
I thought
man.
this whole thing was kind of handled poorly. Like
Yes.
everybody freaks out. He
Yeah.
won't talk. Natalie dips out. I like all of that.
They
right?
barely film him too.
But like the Javi reveal was kind of a dud, was my
Yes.
big note, because it's like they're all like, oh, hi, Javi. And it's just
Yeah.
like, what? We have many questions.
Javi,
Right.
my own flesh
Yeah,
and blood.
Travis, yeah.
I thought you were dead. I didn't think you were dead, but then I thought you were dead. And now you're not dead. Javi, give it in for a big hug because I missed you. I thought you were dead.
That's it.
But my feelings for you, not dead. Very much alive.
But Natalie,
I
to
have
me,
sex.
You're dead.
Dude, yeah, Natalie, I did not appreciate what is clearly now a prank. You play with my heartstrings, girl.
Am I unpunked? Where's Ashton?
Where's
Kutcher?
Ashton? Ashton, where's he at?
I'm going to let one of these other chicks get on this now.
I have words for him.
Not Mara. She's mean.
Actually, Javi, could you do me a favor now that you're no longer dead? Could you like just fade into the background? Because I got a good thing going on with these babes.
Babs.
Babs.
Yeah,
Babs.
super dud. I wanted that scene to carry a lot more weight. And
Do you still have that gum?
yeah, the gum. I thought about the gum too. And they start arguing a little bit. Like Van says, no, because Lottie still did something. And then she's like, well, Thaisa knew where he was.
Three cheers for Lottie.
Yeah, Misty.
No.
Oh, come on.
Nobody's down for that, right?
Come
No.
on.
And then Van says there's something deep inside of you that's connected to all of this, right? Thaisa does not like the sound of that.
No.
But it might be true.
Yep.
But
Maybe.
2021, Thaisa gets out of the truck. I think the store is called While You Were Streaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's why they've been hesitant to do work with us, Showtime.
They were upset.
Where you're like,
Interesting.
oh, we're going to start our own podcast called While You Were Streaming. We don't want to compete with streaming things. That's in my head canon, all right? That is in my head canon, and Leonard being alive is in my head canon.
And it's in
the two things.
It's adult van running like a boutique blockbuster, basically, right?
Yeah, and somehow her scars look worse. Like they look fresher. They're like more red,
Yeah.
They just.
which is odd.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for memories, she cuts them every now and then.
Adult van. I was so happy.
Yeah, I was super excited. To see
I'm really
that.
hyped about this interaction. This
Yeah.
worked way better than
Javi. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Javi
Yeah.
thing was such a wet fart.
I love your use of wet fart.
It was.
It's my new favorite thing.
This was a total wet fart. Just a big like that. But this van reveal, I was excited for it because the whole time we see Ty, she's hitchhiking,
Go to
she's
her.
walking, go to her. I want to see her go to there. All right? And she went to there. All right.
Yeah,
I'm
she
very
did.
happy about it.
And also, Lauren Ambrose, who plays Adult Van, is just the casting for that spot on. I loved the casting for this, for
Yeah.
Adult Van. So good.
I agree. I'm really hyped to see their chemistry, but also like what happened,
Yeah.
like how she ended up with Simone, and
Mm-hmm.
really interested. I wonder if they'll split up in the wilderness, if that's going to be a thing, or just kind of part ways when they get home. Like,
I
the
think it's-
magic's
I
kind of
think it's-
gone now that we're not like tied together.
I think it's the second thing. I think it's they part when they get back.
yeah. But it's fun stuff to learn. So I'm really
Yeah.
excited for that. I think you're
Yeah.
right. Great casting.
Moral of the story: if you ever tie yourself to somebody, don't let them go.
Literally.
Yes.
And that's the end of episode 4. It's time for our choice cuts, right? Our top 3 favorite moments of the episode. Madison.
This was hard.
There was quite a few
There were
options.
so many good scenes in this. I'm gonna have to go. Oh, man, mine are out of order.
Oh no!
Hold on. Okay, my number 3 was Shauna telling Callie everything, taking her out into the middle of nowhere, them having a moment of like, look, this is what's happening. I just really hope it unifies their relationship and now they're able to trust each other. And I'm hoping that scene kind of kickstarts this more interactions of like trust between the two of them and like kind of a more like action-y mother-daughter, like working together to kind of figure things out. But that's my number 3.
Steve, your number 3, choice cut.
My number 3, I was having trouble with this episode coming with a list because I didn't want my 1, 2, and 3 to be the same pairing.
I feel you, baby.
In the interest of not doing that, my number 3 is probably the biggest reveal of this episode of a character returning. And that is Leonard's back, guys. Leonard's alive. My number 3 pick is Leonard is back. He's alive. He's the captain of the airplane now. I'm so happy he's back. He's one of my favorite characters ever.
He's the captain of the crop duster sized airplane.
He's a crop duster captain.
This is your captain speaking. I know I'm the only one on this plane and the plane's not real, but we're going to be dropping down about 3:45.
I'm also a teddy bear.
We don't talk about that. My number 3, I had the same problem. I'd literally just chose something that wasn't you know who. But my number 3 is Ben having his memories of Paul, Coach Ben. Again, I think that's a really... I'm sad because I think I know why they're suddenly playing with our heartstrings with Coach more than usual, but I think it's very effective. I identified a lot with that feeling that I think he was experiencing in that moment. And really good scene, that sequence with him remembering Paul again. That's my number 3. Madison, your number 2.
My number 2 was Lottie in the shopping mall. I kind of liked the break of kind of seeing those characters in the forest. So anytime that, for example, when there was the Feral Feast and we got to see them in the luxurious Greek outfits, and then now seeing Lottie in this world of the shopping mall, but also seeing, Ty, Van dressed normally as if they were, in their regular teenager realm. It was just really kind of refreshing and also very daunting, just kind of seeing Lottie the way that she was, surrounded by everyone else, dressed normal. And yeah, it was just a cool, interesting scene. And yeah, I liked it a lot.
And Natalie was mean.
Was it Natalie? Yeah,
with
Natalie.
Lipstick on.
And Van was a little mean too. Yeah, they're all little
mean girls.
Mean girls.
But Misty's hair, did you catch
Misty's
that?
hair, oh yeah.
That shit was crazy.
I
but
loved it.
It was good.
Steve, you're number 2.
My number 2 is Walter and Misty in the car for the first time. They're driving in the car because there's so many fun things that this scene introduces. It introduces the fact that not only do they both love musicals and show tunes, but he is truly like probably the perfect person for Misty, because immediately he's like, I wish I had a friend like you who was so gung-ho and willing to do whatever it takes to protect the one she cares about, like her friends. Mm-hmm. I'm sure they're going to call you back imminently. Like, I love the dynamic between the two of them. And then Misty just doesn't trust it because her whole life, she's been the butt of everyone's jokes, or people have like abandoned her because she's a little off. And so she doesn't trust it. And she immediately is like, no, you just think I'm a yellow jacket. That's what you're after. This has been a whole big setup thing. And he's like, no, you being a yellow jacket is the least interesting thing about you. And when he said that, I was like, Misty, God damn it, you deserve love. You go get it. Let them fuck.
Let them do it.
Yeah.
No, Chris.
Totally.
Let them fuck.
Yeah.
Get dick down.
Yeah. Dicked on. My number 2 is the moose fall. I thought it was a powerful moment of just like complete and utter, well, this is fucked. Because they found like, hey, this was obviously I knew they weren't going to get the moose, right? As soon as somebody said, this will feed us till spring. I'm like, well, obviously that's not good for the plot for you to secure that bag. But it was still like, dang, like just watching, like literally as the moose is falling, Natalie is seeing like not only, I guess I'm going to be hungry now, but it's like, we're literally going to kill each other. I just ate my friend, right? I'm so hungry. I don't know what I'm going to do. He can't stop me. He's got one leg. I got the gun. So hungry.
Yeah.
Like as the moose is falling, she's just like, shit's about to get weird again.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was a powerful moment. It's like, Oh shit. Yeah. There's like 2.5 seasons left at least. She's about to get so weird.
Yeah.
But that was my number 2. And I just thought it was an interesting thing. Madison, your favorite moment, your choices, cut.
This was so hard. But I think my favorite, just because of how I was just so entranced by the way that they filmed it, was the Misty and Walter split screen scene when they were in the bed and breakfast. I just loved how they played into their similar, just their similar quirks and how they, go about cleaning and like checking, make sure that there's
no bugs
or and then to have them kind of act like asynchronously with like when they were in the bed and stuff like that. I just was like, it was such a good play on both of those characters and how they filmed it with the split screen, because it's really hard, I feel like, to have a successful split screen like sequence. And so I just thought it was very well filmed, very well acted out, and it was probably the most memorable of this episode for me. So
great choice cut. I mean, Steve.
That's my number 1 as well.
Heck yeah.
It was such a great montage. It was so much fun. I loved how they're the same person in so many ways. They literally have the same sleep app that they put on before they go to bed. They had the gold face masks and everything. Yeah. It was just so funny. And the whole time, all I was thinking, like, there's that moment where they kind of perk up a little bit. I'm like, guys, do it. Do it. You're right across the hall from each other. I don't care which one initiates it. Just go over there, knock on the door and say, you still up? You still up? You want, let's compare baskets. We both got baskets to see what we got, but you're not there to compare baskets.
No.
You're there to get dicked on.
You're there to get
Period.
dicked upon. Period. My number 1 is the same thing. So.
Really? 3-way tie?
3-way? Buzz.
It's 3 buses.
Yeah.
Nice.
I get it. You're a genius, Steve. Really, though.
We've done that before.
But this time, God, it took me.
I mean, the fact that there were so many good scenes in this episode.
Yes.
I think this is my favorite scene of the series of the season thus far. And it's because there's so many different things that happen.
Yeah. That's why I was so shocked to see somebody disagree with like Misty and Walter being entertaining.
Interesting.
Because like Steve, I think we're on the same page here. If I wasn't like conscious of the content and what people are listening to and if I was 100% honest, my 3, 2, 1 would have been all Misty and Walter scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same.
And so I was just like, wow, I can't do that. So Steve had the same thing going on. Now, I love the stuff I picked instead. I'm glad we talked about them. But I mean, honestly, when they're on screen, I'm like, oh.
This might get me in some hot water, but I'm going to say it.
Like Natalie's bath hot water?
Oh, even hotter. Hotter water than that.
Damn.
No, I think so. The Walter and Misty stuff is so much fun, and there's such a fun pairing. And I love the concept of this buddy cop story with these 2 people. I wish the show was this. Like, it was just these 2 people who are in a citizens detective society trying to solve crime, and they're just weirdos and they are off-putting to everybody, but they're very good at it and very fun to watch. Like, there were some times where they would cut back to Ty walking on the truck and I'd be like, I don't care. Go back to that. I'm sorry. And Sean was like, Callie, let's have a talk. Don't give a fuck. Go back to Walter and Misty. Like, if the show was just them, I think I would honestly like it more, which is, that might be blasphemous to say, and I'm sorry, but that's my truth. But I love them that much.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you. I mean, they're an incredible, like I said, I've always wanted a spinoff. As soon as this character was introduced, I was like, Elijah Wood is so perfect.
Yeah.
Because he's been this character kind of before. I can't tell you, I can't recommend it highly enough. I don't feel at home in this world anymore on Netflix. It stars Elijah Wood and Melanie Linsky. And he is a doofus version of Walter. Anyway, he's always been good at this. I'm with you. I don't know if you ever saw the show Wilfred.
Oh yeah, Wilfred. Yeah.
I don't know if anybody remembered that.
Yeah.
The fucking dog, and that was back when I smoked weed.
That was a good show. I like that show.
Yeah, it's a good show for that.
I was really young when it was out.
I can imagine.
I remember it. Yeah.
The dog.
I would mistake it for Clifford. No, I'm kidding.
Why is he not red no more? That's how she talked.
I like the show with the dog man.
Yeah.
Now let's do our
Blue's
honeycombs.
got weird.
Yeah. Whoa. Alrighty.
We just got a bong. Wonder who it's from. It's time for our honeycombs, which is where we pull out some Easter eggs from the 90s-ish, little things that we might have spotted you may not have, or just fun to talk about. And we call them honeycombs because yellow jackets are bees. Madison,
In this canon.
Yes.
we'll go around the room, starting with you.
I didn't get a whole lot. But something I did notice, and this has been a thing in the previous episodes, but I just noticed it and decided to write it down. Nat's necklace has a paperclip holding it together. I thought that was very 90s when she's like in her modern or in the 2021 timeline.
My friends used to put paper clips in their pierced ears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, bruh. So cool.
It's the symbol from Microsoft Word. The guy that helps you.
Yeah.
Clippy?
Clippy. Yeah. Steve, you got a bunch?
Well, your boy paused the screen when Walter brought out his cassette tapes.
I saw that and I was like, I'm going to write cassette tapes. Steve's going to pause.
Yeah,
and
I just wrote
all
cassette
down.
tapes. Just let him do his thing.
So
right?
I wrote all of them down. There are 4 cassette tapes. I could not make out what they were because they were kind of on the edge of frame. So they were like so super out of focus. So I couldn't tell what 4 of them were. But the cassette tapes that Walter has is Rent, Mary Poppins, 2005,
Ooh.
Chicago, 1975, West Side Story, 1959, Singin' in the Rain, Starlight Express, 1984, My Fair Lady, 1986, Elvira, 1976, Cabaret, The Wizard of Oz, 1939, Cats, 87, Les Mis, 1988, and Mamma Mia. Here I go again.
Nice.
And the cassette tape that Misty chooses to play had to have been
Evita, right?
yeah, it's that because it's the Rainbow Tour
Mm-hmm.
is the song that's playing. Is it Evita?
I think so.
It is. You're right. It is Evita. I'm just now realizing that my computer
Don't cry for
auto
me.
corrected it to Elvira every time. So Evita is the
I
actual.
like the Elvira musical better.
Yeah.
Spooky.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. And I love the idea that if you take him at his word at face value, that he did not know that Misty was particularly obsessed with musicals. He just assumed that everyone would enjoy. Here, without any other preamble, pick which musical you'd like to listen to, and handing them a bunch of cassette tapes.
Out of these cassette tapes.
Yeah, that's just like a normal thing to do. I love that idea. I just looked at the only honeycombs I had were the poster behind Van in the video store. Movies like Train Spotting,
Yeah.
Footloose, and Mean Girls are the only ones I caught, which aren't 90s movies all the way, but older-ish.
Yeah. And then
She just threw Mean Girls in because she liked it.
I saw on Instagram, I didn't actually pick this up when I was watching the show, but I saw it on Instagram later that there's a sign outside either the diner that Misty and Walter went to or outside of Van's store, but it has a quote from Wednesday Addams. Like, it's like, I guess, a trivia thing, and it's like, guess who said this or something like that. And the quote itself is Wednesday
Oh,
Addams,
nice.
which is
Christina
Christina Ricci.
Ricci.
Yeah, Christina Ricci's Wednesday Addams, which I thought was really, really fun.
That is neat.
That's cool.
Steve, did you find anything else?
Yeah, there's a Sweeney Todd reference.
yeah.
That's the reason why Walter liked her, because she made a Sweeney Todd reference on the forum. I did like, so she's making fun of Starlight Express, and she's like, oh yeah, Cinderella, but everyone's a train. So I like the Cinderella reference, which is funny. The idea of the girls at the mall are eating Chinese food or Japanese food, because mall court Japanese or Chinese food is fire. I don't know if you
Yes.
know that. It's super oily, super unhealthy for you. It's super good.
So good.
Abercrombie is mentioned. We already talked about Lady Malawan.
Malawan.
Who is Agatha Christie. And you mentioned Coach Ben's book, The Magus. I just brought it up so I could read you a synopsis because I think it's fitting that he's reading that novel.
Oh, I knew it would be.
The Wikipedia short summary is The Magus is a postmodern novel by British author John Fowles telling the story of Nicholas Earle, a young British graduate who is teaching English on a small Greek island.
Oh,
Is that Earl? Earth becomes embroiled in the psychological illusions of a master trickster, which become increasingly dark and serious.
Ooh. Not a good thing to read in his current predicament.
Right.
No, like,
Let me just take my mind off what's going on.
Let me just
really
think about Paul.
see myself in this novel.
Just pour myself into Lord of the Flies to take the edge off.
Just to take the edge off. Yeah, yeah, that's the last
I'm
one.
Piggy.
No, Piggy.
No.
Oh, but that's my last Honey Kim.
Honey Cum, which brings us to our final segment, our buzzworthy performance, our favorite performance of episode 4, Madison, Queen of Streaming Things. Start us off.
My buzz performance is Courtney Eaton, who plays young Lottie Matthews. I thought we just got a lot more of her this episode with the mall scene, and also just her performance with the whole stump and cutting her hand. And I don't know, I was like, we definitely got to see a lot more of her this episode, and I haven't chosen her yet. And she was somebody that stood out to me this episode. And so, yeah, I wanted to give my buzz performance to her.
Awesome. Steve.
I want to give my buzz performance to the oh shit blonde girl. No. So I had a hard time narrowing down
It's hard.
who to give it to this episode.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Because this episode, like, again, everyone's doing great work, right? Everyone is knocking it out of the park, but there's not in this episode, it's such a large ensemble cast that there's not a lot of room for people to have like standout moments because everyone's there. When everyone's awesome, no one is, that type of thing, you know? That's not true. But forget I said that. So part of me, in that debacle of not knowing what to do, part of me wanted to pull out a hand grenade.
A rescue grenade?
A rescue grenade. Unpin it and chuck it into the discourse and give it to Callie. But I'm not going to do that. I also gave it to Courtney Eaton, young Lottie.
You had me there. I was like, wait a minute. What?
I honestly was very close to pulling the trigger because I think she does a really great job in this episode, especially when Shauna tells her what's what.
And from where you were at with her character, it was a huge swing.
Yeah, I mean, to make me
you.
actually not actively hate Callie for a minute is a powerful feat in acting in and of itself. But when I stepped back and I had her penciled in and we were going through and reviewing the episode, and then it just came to me like, oh no, Courtney Eaton, who is young Lottie, is actually doing a lot of really great stuff, especially in the mall court.
A Lottie.
Yeah, but I'm bummed. She's doing a lot of great stuff in this episode, and I think she is really the winner of the buzzworthy performance this episode.
Yeah.
I also almost gave it to Callie. I even thought about Sophie Thatcher because I like the moose so much.
Yeah.
Same.
And she had a couple other good scenes, but I've given it to
She
Sophie.
doesn't play the moose, Chris.
Right. I think she did prove it. I think she could. I think she could. I've given it to Sophie Thatcher quite a few times. Deservedly so, but I also gave it to Courtney Eaton, who I'd never given it to. So, and I was on the fence still between the two of them, but Madison, you swayed me. Damn it. Lottie deserves it. So that's it. A 3-way tie on favorite moments, on choice cuts, and on buzzworthy performances.
Look at that.
Buzz.
Heck yeah.
I never know what to say. Like, I need something to, you know what I mean? Like, what's our finish? Like,
Wet farts.
All right.
There you go.
Ooh, that wasn't quite as wet.
Mine was kind of dry.
Yeah, it's a little dry. There you go.
No.
Nice.
This
We
show's
can't end
evolved
the
into
show.
fart
We
jokes.
can't end the show on 3 wet farts. Don't forget
Is
to
that not
email
what we
in.
are?
I think I was very
Not wrong.
I was not performing well today, guys. I think that photo shoot like fried my brain. So if you're listening at home and you're like, Chris sucked more than usual, that's how I feel.
Oh no.
I
You
did
great.
I
You did
didn't
great.
cue us up for overall thoughts at all. We didn't do that.
You son of a bitch.
What the fuck?
I didn't explain.
dare you.
know, just a couple things. So thanks for hanging in there. I hope you enjoyed that
I'm
episode.
so proud of you, sweetheart.
Thanks, Kyle's creepy ass
I
mom.
made you some choco chip panties.
Not panties.
No.
Actually, hell yeah.
Coming right up.
Kyle's mom has got it going on.
She might.
I like Madison.
Find out. But don't forget to leave a review on iTunes. Check out the Patreon. Email the show. Follow us on the socials. But no matter what, if you can't do any of those things, that's fine. Just have a good day. Keep being you. Thank you for supporting us and listening. That's all the time we have for right now. My name is Chris.
My name's Madison.
And I'm Steve.
And this is Streaming Things. Happy streaming.
Oh, it's April Fools, everybody. Just kidding. That was a couple days ago. But in the month of April, we've got some new patrons we want to give a shout out to because they are keeping the lights on for us over here at Streaming Things, as well as many of you who have been patrons for a very long time. So let's welcome these newcomers into our family. Our first one isn't technically new, but he did upgrade his tier to the highest tier possible of the K-Stu patron saint of Streaming Things, and that is Stanton Valentino. So thank you so much, Stanton. We also want to welcome our brand new Try Before You Deny producers, Wendy O'Laughlin, Jason Hawkins, and Matthew Emerson. Thank you, guys. Brand new to the Marty B VIP section, we have Aubrey Carell, Tyler Ashby, Alan Tomlinson, Kate Lampy, Joey Stewart, Taryn Sayre, Jesse Lay, Kashunya, Luke Dixon, Lena Anderson, and Huang Lei. Thank you guys so much. And our chocolate pudding producer sections, we got some brand newcomers. We got Crystal Wheatley, Katie, Anna Javinjo. I'm definitely pronouncing that wrong. Thank you to Bailey Patterson, Abby Christine Creations, Aaron, Bradley, California, Alex the Average. I think you could be pretty great, Alex, not going to lie. Lauren Daly, Sarah Podber, Richard Humphrey, Sarah Rowe, Chris Williams, Stephanie, Jose Presidio. I'm pronouncing that way wrong. I'm so sorry, Jose. Melanie Dame, Katie G, Wade, Huggy Loaf. I love that name, Huggy Loaf. And of course, the upside down Canuck. What is an upside down Canuck? Is that like a mean Canadian? I don't know. And finally, our Friends Don't Lie producers. We can't leave them hanging. We got to thank them as well. So thank you so much to Austin Sylvie, Sahiba, and Zaray Penna. Thank you guys so much for continuing to support the show. We can't do it without you. And I hope you keep enjoying these episodes.